All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Wednesday and welcome to Series E Season 3. My name is Yeso. I will be your host tonight and throughout this entire season. And if you tuned in last night, you saw some awesome arena tournament gameplay here with our 9 partnered squad competing against an array of open teams. And now tonight, it is time for Pro Night. Now, for those of you that are new to what we do here, you may not know exactly what Series E is, but I can break it down for you, okay? Series E is a professional Apex Legends open circuit that absolutely anyone can join. We have 9 squads that either made it through our open qualifiers prior to this season or qualified based on their placement during Season 2. Those 9 squads have now been drafted and signed by our 9 partnered brands. All of these players now make $750 a month salary, as well as compete weekly every Tuesday night against other open squads like they used to be, and then every single Wednesday against some of the top pros from across North America, just like you will see here tonight. So if you and your squad want to get in on the action, make sure to head over to matchareno.com/ESA for a shot at being a future Series E Pro. Now, today is our first official day of Series E competition in Battle Royale. Obviously, as it has been noted by people all across the community, there have been some issues, but thankfully, Respawn has been grinding away, getting fixes pushed out to get things back to normal, and it means we are ready to run Battle Royales here tonight. So we had arenas last night for a little bit of a fun shakeup to bring some competition for all of you at home, but now we will get to the nitty-gritty that we're looking for here in Series E. And I want to talk about a few of our partnered squads. If you guys saw and follow us on Twitter, you will have seen I released a power rankings article a week ago for our partnered teams. And just, it was my general thoughts on all 9 squads and where they stood coming into the season. I just want to highlight a few of those here before we get into the action here today. And I want to start with Team Cheez-It, okay? I had them ranked at the bottom, and somebody had to be down there. Unfortunately for them, it was Team Cheez-It, but they were impressive last night. They made it all the way to the semifinals of our Arenas tournament. Now, granted, Arenas is a completely different ball game, right? You're not on World's Edge, no rotations, no third parties, and as some of our pros were saying on Twitter last night, it's more all aim, no brain. So it's a different ball game in Arenas, but I was impressed with their run last night. They had some solid wins, made it to top 4, and looked strong. They have a lot to prove to me, but I was definitely confident with the performance they showed last night. So I'm looking for some good things for them as the season continues. Now I want to go to who I had at number 5. It was Team Pop-Tarts. And interestingly enough, this was the last team to qualify for Season 3 of Series E. They just snuck in at the end due to the old Team Pop-Tarts getting signed by, as of yet to be named, a professional org. So Team Pop-Tarts snuck in, and for a lot of people, they would have thought maybe they'd be ranked low, but I think they have a really, really good shot at competing this season. Now, I will be talking about all of these teams throughout the day. We'll be doing breakdowns, going through some plays, stats, and everything in between our 6 games. But I believe we're ready to go. I think production's given me the thumbs up. We got the casters ready to go, so I'm not going to waste your time, folks. We kick off Season 3 of Series E competition right now.
Series E.
Series E.
Series E. Apex Legends.
Apex Legends.
Series E.
Series E. Apex Legends.
Series E Apex Legends starts right now. All right, welcome everybody to Series E, where hopefully we can finally get into the regular season of Season 3. We got a lot of new teams joining us this time around. It's going to be a fun affair. T-Squared here along with me, Jamerson, to bring you all the action. We've got 6 games to break it all down. This is going to be a fun night, Tom.
It is going to be a fun night, and you know, we saw some really interesting games yesterday for the Arenas mode, and I had a lot of fun watching it, honestly. But now we're back to the Battle Royale mode. We're back onto World's Edge, and you never know. I mean, while they get ready to announce the upcoming ALGS season, we're not quite sure exactly what the format is going to be. As we take a look at our format here, it's the standard that we've had for quite some time. But I'm wondering, will there be, map changes? Will there be a Olympus added? Will Kings Canyon be put into the mix? Who knows? But I know one thing's for sure. The players are stoked to have the custom lobbies back up because they've been down for quite some time.
Yeah, so we have our 9 partnered squads that will be joined by our 11 North American teams here. Pro teams like G2, 303, CLG, C9, so many to name. Should be an amazing time, as it has been some time since we've seen the Battle Royale mode. We're going to be going back, I believe, to World's Edge at this point just to keep everything consistent. And we've got 6 matches. Like you said, everything's going to work out like normal, 12 points for a win, 1 point per kill, and all that good stuff. And it's whoever comes out on top. The 2 highest points earners after 6 games will be placing into the money, $350 going to first place, $150 going to second place. So it's all about the top 2 here. So I'm really excited. I want to see what happens with all the adjustments that's coming in. Like how have the teams been taking basically the off season here? But it looks like we are already ready for game number 1. So let's go ahead and get straight onto it. Into World's Edge for the first game of SeriesE. Well, the first game that'll count towards the season. This is where all the points will be starting to accrue for our teams. And to note the importance of it throughout the regular season, all right? You have to have a high overall point score to maintain your spot into the next one. And then, of course, the bottom scoring teams at the end of the season will be put into the relegations, and we'll have to re-qualify for SeriesE. But here we are on board with one of our partnered squads, Team Pop-Tarts, Lion, Exile, and Z Davis that are dropping over here at Overlook. The loot not looking so great so far, and take a look at this composition we saw out of them. It was going to be the Valkyrie along with the 2 big boys. Rockstar, though, in a fight now is Strictly gets chased down by Malice Mamba. Does do some damage before he falls, but Kimchi has to be careful. There's one more up top. There we go. Trades back, bringing it down to a 2v2 over here at Lava Fissure.
Look at this little face cam we got coming through. We got the Gibby res as well. It's just a fake, though, as it looks like Crummy's coming through and making sure that he's going to be having some help. The bubble does go down. I love the usage of that. And then also the little maneuver to get to the bottom floor. Little door blockage coming on over here. And a lot of fighting happened in the arenas yesterday, so they should be used to these skirmishes. There's a bottom floor push. That's going to be turns coming through. And these are 2 partnered teams that are trying to find a landing spot super early on. It's very crucial. What a grenade. Just burning Kimchi Lee down to the ground. Will it go all the way, though? Oh, my goodness. 1 HP. Luckily living throughout all of this one, but there's the Bloodhound scan, and could be a potential third party. Can we ban Bloodhound? Can we go back to that?
If only it is going to be the third party coming in here, as it looks like Applejack showing up. Splash still surviving for the time being, as Gibby is about 10 HP from death, and that's going to be Nestle getting knocked out here, so Applejacks will pick that one up. They had to have been close. They probably dropped over by Countdown to have such an early third-party timing there. I liked what I saw out of what Kimchi was doing there when he realized, as he was going for that res, pulling off the res, notices that the 2 members do push up, and he just buys time, right? He plays around the dome well, kites around, and waits for Crummy to show up, and really, that should have been their win if it wasn't for the third party.
And you can see over towards the top, you have 2 really solid teams locking down that skyhook area. And it's been known for quite some time that Team Liquid loves going on over towards the trials. They're always extremely looted. But I do love the play, you're right, from Kimchi Lee. But I love the third party even more because, you know what, that was a fast third party. They came through fully looted, and they already made their rotation over towards there before the 1 minute and 30-second mark. Here's another fast fight happening. And that 45-second mark, the team starts to rotate. That's going to be Golden, who played so well yesterday, gets dropped immediately. That's going to be the Charlotte Phoenix squad, I believe, coming through with some really nice shots. Nice flank, nice teamwork. Oh, man, and a response, though, as well. Now it's a 2-on-1 situation, 1-on-1 situation, and they're both no shields running through the caustic gas. What a madman.
Finicky's got the HP, though, and he was brought down to 1 HP, but pulling out that alternator, he'll be able to finish him off. No more time for showboating. Yes, you gotta get the reses up, man. You don't know if anyone's gonna be coming from the dome side or all over at Lava City, but it does seem they are gonna be safe. If they want, they can have the armor swaps as well. Finicky is sitting on that blue. As you can see, Mollis picks out that purple for himself. TSM in an early skirmish over here at Frag East right now is actually making their way into Frag West. Excuse me, not Frog West. But they do have a squad right in front of them, stuck inside Market. Ooh, it's going to be
There's so much going
Cloud9,
on.
so the rivalry continues.
There's so much going on. I mean, this is a fast-paced game to start. 14 squads remaining. I mean, everybody coming in hot here in Series E to start things off on our pro day. And one thing's for sure, when we've been watching a lot of different points of views, but something about Reps and his awareness when we switched on over to him, how he's just moving around with super fast sensitivity, just completely cracked, man. You can tell that Reps is ready to play today. These guys are ready to fight. And that is that fight that happens fairly often where they're rotating over towards the Fragment West side, meeting up with C9, and getting a lot of this loot along the way. Surprising to me that another third party hasn't came from both of these recent fights, but they're feeling pretty comfortable because of the fact that the zone has pulled fairly far down towards that southwest side. So one team that is in a really good position would be the Knights, and they're locking things down in the choke area, which this is going to be a very high, I guess I would say high traffic area, Jamerson.
Yeah, as you can see, the ring is pulling over here, and most squads are ready for this. Having a position early on can be extremely important. A lot of these spots have decent vantage points for you to be able to get some third-party shots during the mid-game, but, I mean, it's still the early game here. We're down to 14 squads. You said it yourself. The action has been so fast-paced right now as Exit now making their move through, avoiding this fight, getting shot from behind, but no damage really sticking until they make it into the Dorito building. So they'll be safer now. This is one of the safer positions where you don't have as many angles to try and shoot out from, just because you do have the wall to your back, but that just means, of course, you are going to be safer here. But the Knights, definitely not happy that they weren't able to maybe get something off of that fight, because they are sitting on 2 white armors along with the blue. So hopefully being able to lock down this house, maybe they have the weapons to try and poke out and get some decent damage. There we go. There's an R301 to trade out for that R9, or at least have in the back pocket for the longer range poke.
And this is going to be interesting to see how many teams flood through that specific area and how they want to go and approach fights. So getting inside a building would be ideal. Maybe they could, play fairly sneaky. If a Bloodhound's hand comes in, they're going to be sought out. But this is an opportunity with, again, this little high traffic area for potential third parties. And if you could lay low key and wait for your opportunity to kind of pounce through, then you're going to be in a good spot. But you don't want to be caught out in the middle of the map outside of a building with white armor. If that's the case, people are going to send it onto you, and you don't want that because you're not looking for a fight, 1, and then 2, you're going to be getting third party no matter what. So just an opportunity to kind of charge these Evo shields up, kind of find a little safe haven, and decide exactly where this ring is going to rotate, because it's still a little bit unpredictable right now. A lot of teams obviously setting up over towards that thermal side, but the teams that can't get in aren't going to stress out too much. They're just going to sit on the outside and then make the rotation late.
Looks like G2 might have made a balloon rotation out and might have ran into someone over by Trey. I don't know. It's very difficult to see on this overlay so far, but not too many teams making their way directly into the center. We might have a lot of these edge fights, especially when you do have to take into consideration TSM getting to that early fight. They're going to be slower to the circle. They're going to commit to edge. G2, they're a squad that's known for playing edge. They want to find these fights. They love being able to snowball and get some high 30-point or high 20-point games. Right now, they haven't found any of the action because, well, 6 teams are already gone so far. So things should die down for the time being as round 1 is just finishing closing here. And there we go as we start off round 2. That's right, 14 squads, 39 players. And so it is going to be Verhulst. This squad, Team Intel, accounting for the two teams missing out currently, as G2 definitely do get themselves into a fight right now. Cheese it, losing out on 2, Mollis and Finicky to fall.
Hey, there's a Zeratricky sighting, and congrats to Verhulst. It's a real honor, Jamerson, in SeriesE to be featured for the first time in Season 3 on the Tomcat Rat Cam. I mean, that's an award in its own.
G2
actually did rotate. Oh, that's psycho. They want fights, Jamerson. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they typically, they're going to go ahead and try to find the slow side of the zone where they think maybe a lot of teams are going to try and run through. And I think they did a good job at least finding 1 kill here. Missed out on at least 1 there, as we saw the third party did come in from the high ground. G2, their equipment looks fantastic already. You got Designful, he's got the gold armor. Gentrifying already sitting with the purple for himself. Results, he's got that G7 scout in hand, and not too far off. There we go, swapping off onto a purple armor. So G2 should be all set for the late game now, but it's During this position, where will they be able to find additional fights, get some more kill points under their belt here? Is now Team Razor playing on the edge of the next safe zone. This is can be a little bit tricky to maneuver, but hey, it's great to see we're seeing so much mobility right now. It looks like arenas once again. You got the Pathfinder, Octane, and the Gibraltar.
You know what's not mobile is Zeratricky's hair. That is not moving. It's perfectly done. I guarantee it looks like that when he wakes up.
It almost like looks plasticine at that point, yeah, where it's just stuck there. But it looks fantastic. I'm looking forward to actually coloring my hair as well. I think it looks fantastic.
I'm jealous. I don't have any hair, so I'm looking in the mirror, just trying to grow it back.
The quarantine haircuts hit me hard, hit me bad. So that's why I've been wearing a hat for like the last year. It's like, well, I don't feel safe going out to get my hair cut yet. And
the truth is out. Yeah, we all know why Jamerson wears hats. Okay.
Dude, is that $15 to buy clippers, right? And I get to do it at home. I feel safer, or I go and, like, I don't know, risk my life for like a $30 haircut. I think the math kind of, it's fairly clear what's mathematically best.
I think Zeratricky had Paul Mitchell specifically come over to his house to do that one, so got on his level.
We actually have a Paul Mitchell like really close by, and you can get different levels of haircuts because it's also like a beauty school. So you can get like a $5 haircut from someone who's like maybe a month in. You risk it, but it's a $5 haircut, right? Or you can go for like a $30 or $40 haircut with someone who's actually like trained and have been doing it for a year or two.
I want to keep my ears, okay? I don't want to look like I just fought Mike Tyson. I'm good.
We got to see some great stuff on Twitter last night. I don't know if you caught it. I think it was Lightstar Joe was showing off one of his clips where he was just getting meleeed down by like Stretch Armstrong Wraith. That's what I was thinking about when you talk about like Mike Tyson. Yeah.
Was that his clip? Oh,
he's Horizon, right? Like 50 meters in the air.
Yeah, that was like some Halo auto aim punch, but like Halo 5 on steroids, basically.
Yeah. Like you're coming in with the sword, you're just like, yeah,
that was a sword lunge.
There we go. Round 2 is closing. We're still at 13 squads, and we still have a number of teams that are damaged right now. 3 players missing out of the lobby, and it might be time that their banners are probably gone, as well as Team Applejacks. We saw them coming in for that third party. They've been slow playing it here on the northern side of the zone, trying to control this choke going into Thermal Station. They're not running for themselves a Valkyrie, but luckily for them, the ring pulls in such a way that they have the options. If it does end up continuing going over towards that staging side, they can go ahead and play that. But if it pulls towards that choke, that will be the dominant position to be in. So I like where they're playing right now.
It's crazy how things can slow down, and that's why we're sitting here smoozing for a little bit, because of the fact that we saw, like 5 fights to start the game, non-stop action, only 1 third party, and that was Team Applejacks. But this is what we see TSM do fairly often, where they're so good at taking safe spots and then taking safe rotations in. They play the edge, and then next thing you know, they have some huge game-changing rotation that ends up putting them in the final circle. And we're going to get an opportunity to see how they kind of approach that situation right now. This is not an ideal spot, getting on over towards the bottom, but this is like one of those spots where now it's going to be occupied. You know that all the teams around are going to be looking for you, and the question is, who wants to take this fight, because you will get third party down here.
Oh boy. You see the arc stars coming down from the team above them, but the bubble was used, so Team Liquid not really able to take advantage of that right now, playing with Nocturnal and Flanker Alrelele. Will not be joining them for the next ALGS season. I haven't really been keeping up with all of that, so I don't know who their third is quite yet. I know they've been doing trials for the last few weeks, so I'm excited to see how that develops for Team Liquid. You got to imagine being able to play here in Series E will be good competitive experience at the very least, heading into the next ALGS season. Here's CLG, though, currently playing it out as a duo. It's CLG, but we got Shiny and Scurry here. I don't know what's going on, man.
There's been a trade. One thing's for sure, I'm not sure if you caught that, but Team Liquid has a fill.
Yeah.
Literally.
I didn't actually catch like the pun part of it, but yeah, okay. It's like when I was thinking of Phil, I was just thinking of the name, you know, like Phil and Lil, and I was just like, okay, that just completely flew by me. I'm out of practice. It's been weeks since we've had a regular Series E night, so we're all getting back into the swing of things here. Round 3 closing up now, in CLG playing off the train tracks. A little bit vulnerable, especially seeing as how they are playing it out as a duo. But, you know, I feel like this is a squad that just won't shy away from a 2v3 fight if they have to take it. But Shiny, unfortunately, misses his drop. Scurry getting shot up from behind, gets cracked once again. Their economy has to be running on fumes at this point. It looks like Verhulst did get finished off, so Rat did get exterminated. We're down to 12 squads remaining now, and that's all the players accounted for. As G2 looking to make this push into, I think this might be Charlotte Phoenix. No, it's going to be Applejacks, actually. Designful gets the knock with that Arc Star, but the defensive bombardment goes down, delaying the rest of this push. So they should be able to get him back up. And take a look at that. Ring pulling away. Applejacks are kicking themselves for actually committing onto this car now on the wrong side of the ring. And they've got G2 gatekeeping them.
That's so unfortunate. I mean, what a grenade right there from G2. Designful pushing up, getting that finish as well. And what's so crazy is you notice how how disciplined G2 is. They get that knock, but they understand, okay, this zone is fairly small. We know we've been experienced in these situations before. There's teams ratting all over the place, so we can't really take this straight up because it's just going to cause too much havoc. And now, look, another team's going to full send out over towards this, and that's going to create an opportunity potentially for G2 to push in. They're going to be looking for knocks, looking for exchanges. Unfortunately for them, they get wiped so fast it doesn't even matter. Speaking of a team that got wiped, TSM now just down to how we were talking about how difficult it is from the bottom of the map right here. And we're wondering how TSM was going to magically pull this off. Well, now it's up to Hal with just a sliver of HP. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be able to do it. Everybody inside these blue trailers now is just eating it as G2. We're talking about the third party. There it is. And the response, every time we switch to Designful, he's just laying down massive damage.
It was good timing for all the teams that took the fights when they did, because we have 15 seconds left on this zone before it starts closing up, and so you had little time to work with here. G2 picking up the rest of those squads. Congarna will get finished off here, and they have enough time to just back away. Once again, gatekeeping on this side. We do have some of the mountain in, but unless you're a Valkyrie, you're not getting into the next zone here. So very unfortunate for them. At this point, I don't know if CLG actually survived that, and that was one team to note, in fact, that they did have a Valkyrie, so they can actually play this mountainside if they want to. But here's Team Razor trying to make a push onto Team Liquid, I believe, but the res might have already come through for them. It's going to be a big fight over this choke. Razor, they don't need to play this aggressively. They can fall back, and that is what Hakulo is doing. Zera Tricky playing that front line for his squad and trying to keep Team Liquid at bay, backing away. As we've seen the kill feed, 303 finishing off Imperial Hal, but they're all going to bleed out to the zone now. Team Razor continuing to push up, and Liquid are going to be stuck on the other side, the wrong side of this mountain.
Nice play by Zera Tricky right there. Ooh, Saucer with the big blade right there on the baby Tuli. Ring is going to eat Fury alive. But Zera Tricky doesn't have this bubble res, so he's going to have to go and hopefully not get shot in his panda bare feet over here. There it is. The Saucer actually going to come in with the cleanup. I was wondering if they're going to try to shoot the toesies right there. They have a mobile respawn beacon though, so we talked about this before. This is a plug me in fam moment.
Unfortunately, it's a little bit out in the open, right? It's just behind the cover of the fences that it will provide. So they're waiting for the bubble. He's got one more second and they won't be able to throw it down, but it looks like he actually finds the moment to hit it without having to use that bubble. Still has it ready just in case. Never mind. They will have to bubble res for that one, and they do get it off, but it's about being able to get that loot as well, right? Your bubble should come up in another like 25 seconds, 30 seconds. Never mind, did not have a gold helmet. And then you're going to have to retrieve that loot and kind of go in blind here. They're not running a Bloodhound. Where can they really play off of? This zone, pulling away from a lot of the buildings. G2 in one of the most dominant spots, basically the god spot of the zone.
I would have saved the bubble, honestly. The bubble needed to be for, especially for me and my controller self over here. They're like, yo, man, could you bubble the loot for me? I'm kind of struggling here. And there's the bubble coming back up. Can they get the finish and the save? They do, and the res inside the bubble. It was just the long game so they could get back into this one and get some extra kills. I see what they did.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Xset was actually the team that was stuck on the wrong side of the zone, so they took a lot of flesh damage from the ring as they tried to bounce pad in. Speaking of bounce padding in, a lot of teams now making their way into these buildings now, and so Team Razor not out of the fire quite yet, have to make another push. They do have a defensive bombardment going down, though, and they find some cover to work off of, and they will be able to stay alive for now. Shiny going down out of bounds. It does look like maybe they try to go over the top, but that should be CLG. Oh, we have 6 squads left, actually, so maybe Scurry's still alive for the boys. Team Liquid leading out to G2 as they did try to take the northern side, and now we're down to the final ring. 5 squads remaining. 1 squad probably down to just a rat. Would like to just swap around to see exactly who is remaining.
I like this play. Everyone's going to be poking their head out like the Three Stooges right here outside of this door. But Team Razor is going to be playing right in between the fence and the stairs. As G2 has had this down since the very beginning. Remember how, Jamerson, they were not interested in taking the fight over towards the boot trailer. Why? Because they knew that if they rotated, that this spot would have been taken. And this spot is extremely, extremely valuable. You can see everybody playing on this outside area. And this is a very... Ooh, Saucer again. Resulta should have his bubble up, so everything should be A-okay. There's the quick res. Oh my gosh, Madmen sending it into the bubble.
That is a fast send, but you can see the third party coming out from Razor as well, and they're picking up a lot throughout all of this. G2 do survive to draw out that mad scramble, luckily because of the third party coming out from Razor here. Ultimately now, and we're down to the final 3v3, the rest should go through, but will they be able to full heal? Team Razor still sitting on 2 purples, so they won't have the ultimate HP advantage, but here they go, the swing on in. G2 still trying to heal up here. As you can see, the medkit's getting popped by 2. They will be able to get that one off. Designful buying time for his squad. Eba 8 out, trading 1-for-1 with Aculo, now down to a 2v2 as the defensive bombardment comes down the bubble just a little bit too late, leaving Gentrifying into a 1v2, playing off this bubble now. It's going to be Team Razor that finish them off and take the win, but are they going to be our point leaders? Want to note, before all that action broke down, G2 had about 12, maybe 13 kills to their name before all of that happened, before the final 4 or 5 teams started fighting there. And even Team Razor ended up popping off on the kill feed. So I'm really excited to see what the Mobile One leaderboard looks like after we get back from our break.
What an exciting game, number one. That had everything. It had an explosive start and then a really nice finish there with everybody playing methodical. I thought G2 was potentially going to be fending off Razor right there, but Razor's coming in hot. I mean, we know that they were the number 1 team in Season 1, so it's a great way to start Season 3.
And we saw them, of course, having a great recovery, being able to get one player back into the game, and then just basically somehow playing just barely on the edge of the zone to make their way in. That was game number 1. Razor will take it. We're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, we'll have game number 2 of Series E right after this.
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. With the bars in the breaks, I'm talking one chance that was so good for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind and shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Game number 1 of the season, all done there, and seeing Team Razor coming out on top. A big fight win there against G2 to take it on. It was looking like G2 was going to run away with it. We were looking at a lot of Designful's POVs. His aim was on all throughout that first game. You heard Jamerson and Tom talking about it, that they had been racking up a lot of kills, and they may still be at the top of our Mobile One leaderboard when we check it out here in a little bit. But it was Team Razor coming out on top. Let's check out our player of the game here for our first official game of SeriesE Season 3, and it was the kill leader himself, Mr. Hakulo, coming out strong. 8 kills, 5 assists, and almost 2,700 damage. That is a statement game to start the season, especially on Pro Night. So Team Razor looking really good coming out of the gate, and this is a squad that, you know, myself personally, I had some questions about. I'm looking at this situation to start off Season 3 very similarly to Season 2, right? They won the championship in Season 1, dropped Mercy Only, bring in Muffins, and then it just wasn't the same team in the first half. It took that roster swap to Serial to level up Mr. Hakulo and Zara Tricky to the point where they ran up to 3rd place. Now we'll have to see Baby Thule coming in. They're able to get a win on the day. They'll just have to keep it rolling. So definitely a great way to start it off. And 5 more games today, so plenty more SeriesE action to come. Do not worry. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, SeriesE continues.
Hey, shake it, kiddo. Love Dad. Oh.
I've got this. Kellogg's Rice Krispies treats. A little love when it's needed.
Fruit, refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. Now all our top fresh flavored splash.
It's fruit freshin'.
Cheese it, snapped. How's it taste? It's so thin, crispy, and cheesy. And I just want to keep eating it. And eating it. They love them.
Snapped. So good we may run out of cheese.
Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws. They're Jumbo.
Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Gonna take them on the go. Cereal, magnified, showing up for snacking time. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Gonna take them on the go.
It's Jumbo. It's for snacking. It's Jumbo Snacks.
All right, welcome back to Series E. We had two big games. Well, it was one game, but they were both big for G2 and SeriesE. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard to see who is actually going to be leading right now. And it's going to be Team SeriesE narrowly. They did have 14 kill points overall, but that means G2 had 17.
Dude, has anyone ever seen a leaderboard like this before? Two teams just taking all of the points. I mean, we could add more points up just on the bottom hand side and find out exactly how many points are given an entire game. That's how easy they're kind of making it here for us right now. 26 and 25 is absolutely ridiculous. That's basically 2 wins for 2 teams. So it's going to be tough for the rest of these teams to catch up. I know it's just game number 1, but it's going to be fun because we saw exactly how these players want to go about it. Let's take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment of game number 1. But what an explosive start. We had a slow middle game and then an explosive finish. That's typical Apex for you, and you love to see it.
Yeah, and this was the ultimate fight here. The chase down from Team SeriesE's G2. We're still trying to stabilize, and imagine if they had just a little bit more in their in terms of shields, right? They might have been able to fight back. This was a super close fight. Resulta just narrowly missing out on that bubble could have been the difference maker if he could have stayed alive, maybe buy a little bit more time for his arm shield to come back up. That was very close between these two squads, but I mean, SeriesE themselves kind of saved G2 when that knock came down. Someone got sniped. I forget who. They were able to get the res, but that you saw, I believe, I'm trying to remember who it was, tried to full send it onto G2, but they were caught out midway by Team SeriesE. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, it was Pop-Tarts that tried to just full send it, I think, yeah. But G2, they can thank their lucky stars that Team SeriesE got involved throughout all of that, sent them to the top 2. But, 26 and 25 points overall. I misspoke earlier or misdid the math. It was 16 kill points for G2. What a crazy game. I mean, I was trying my best to keep track of the kill feed. I didn't think they got that many kills until I saw the assists and the kill numbers on the HUD just before this fight.
Yeah, it's cool. I like my Pop-Tarts coming in hot. I really wouldn't have it any way. Cold Pop-Tarts, really not my style. But, G2 had a really weird situation because they have red armors, but yet you still are missing about half of it. So you're stuck in a rock and a hard place here between wanting to heal and wanting to hold your real estate, because once teams really start to advance on you, take the angles that they want and take the angles that they want to get, that's exactly what SeriesE did. And they started to charge, and they sensed a little bit of weakness based on the fighting that just took place. But that was surprising to me that a lot of kills went to 2 specific teams when there was a lot of teams that were locking down areas that were priority spots with real estate. I mean, a team that comes to mind is Team Liquid. That was gate kept. And you got to give credit to especially G2, in my opinion, for predicting that zone. That is not an easy zone to pick. We saw a majority of teams get that wrong.
Yeah, I think a good half or more than half the lobby were stuck on the other side of the mountain, expecting this one to go over towards staging. But the simple fact that G2 were able to bully Applejacks out of that choke position, allowing them to control the north side there. We saw SeriesE doing their best at gatekeeping Xset, Liquid, and other squads from coming in from the eastern choke. And it ended up coming down to these 2 squads. And so what a perfect way to end game number 1. But we are headed into game number 2 right now. And hopefully the circle gods favor us and give us some really decent zones. I mean, we've already gone 1 thermal station zone. So let's go ahead and get some variety in our life.
Predicting 4 thermal station zones in a row. A beautiful game 1. Not as beautiful as this map overhead, though. I mean, I saw the chat. They enjoy it. I enjoy it. Like, all the peacefulness of World's Canyon before the chaos commences here. But we do have, obviously, the fight that was taking place on the north side of the map that we have to keep tabs on. That's going to be Splash going up against Applejacks. But we also didn't realize that Team SeriesE is getting into it on the Lava City side. And that makes their rotation even more impressive because they had to deal with people and they had to take an unorthodox spot. So we saw one team winning that was kind of towards the thermal side or getting to the finals zone, and then one team on the other south side. So that made it tough for the teams on that north hand area. But we had 2 fights happening as Team SeriesE is trying to clean this team up. This is a fast Lava City fight, and it's going up against Slice Star Joe and the Rice Krispie Treat squad. I'm sure he still has PTSD after the melee, so I'm not sure how he's even playing Apex right now.
Ooh, unfortunate that he had to reload that Volt there after throwing down a great Thermite to grief that door at the very least. But this is going to be a 2v1 4-team Razor. Bubble Res out for Zera. Tricky to get Hakulo right back up. Thule even here to cover. And so now things are looking dire on the other side. It's going to be a 3v1 for this fight. We've got a lot of action taking place right now, especially on that western edge where we saw that 3-team kind of pile up over by Lava Fissure, but ultimately Team Razor do win out. Rockstar this time around will be able to survive this, getting some revenge for what happened in game number 1.
You know, they wanted revenge so bad that they actually land on the team that third-partied them, I believe. So they switched it up instead of going to Lava Fissure, and they're going to make their way over towards where Applejacks was. And I believe they did get some, if not all of the players. So interesting way to start this one. Again, teams having to struggle to find a spot in the beginning of SeriesE is not uncommon. They're going to be duking it out, and sometimes that lasts the entire time because they're trying to command that spot for the ALGS as well. So there's like a metagame that happens inside, not just rotations, but off the rip. And we've even seen teams, I believe it was Applejacks, Jamerson, where they were so good, but yet they just were falling very low on the overall cumulative leaderboard because of the fact that they do have to deal with those 50-50s.
Yeah, the 50-50s we would see fairly frequently in Season 1 and Season 2. Really strong squads falling just because they couldn't get to the late game because it was all about the 50-50s. But if they did survive it, oftentimes they would end up winning their games. Team Pringles, though, here on the northeast side of the zone, of the map, not going to run into too much over here at Refinery as Rice Krispie Treats. We have our first Tomcat Rat Cam of game number 2. Clinical's still alive, so it might have been Applejacks that oh wait, excuse me, no, this fight was taking place over at Lava City, but the respawn timers have run out for Lightstar Joe and Nemusona. Unfortunate, we'll not be able to get them in. We'll see. It's going to be difficult here. We haven't been seeing as many Bloodhounds, but there's still a decent amount, and so it's so difficult to survive when you have the ultimate tracker in the game.
The Hound becomes the Hounded very shortly. See how long that rat can last, but Era's trying to last inside this building. A team is going to be sending it over towards the backhand side. Could this be G2?
It has to be G2. There's no one else, especially at this time of the round. No one else is going to be here except for G2. And so, Era, what are you doing? Why are you here at all? They got the first knock, actually. As they take out the Zion Pool, we'll get the instant thirst. And oh my gosh, our second place squad from game number 2 are out. They're the second team out in this game.
They're probably thinking the same thing. What are you doing back here? We're going to come back and wipe you, but maybe a little bit too aggressive. And you saw the amazing stick right there coming in from Era and Stunny. And it's how you play it in Thermal Station. I mean, if you're going to fight, you want to fight all the way in the very back so you're avoiding any type of third parties. But we had no idea that an additional 50-50 was happening. Era, they got some cojones for going back there.
Oh, definitely. Team Intel, we're eyeing this out as well. You can see they're wrapping around back over towards Tree now, but with no big trades and, of course, the big distances like you were talking about, fighting all the way back there, completely safe for them. Looks like Applejacks are looking to try and maybe get a res as they're making their way on over towards the northern side of Thermal Station. We've got the respawn beacons for them to use as Team Intel now, making their way through Tree. Going to continue to try and roam around the edges here. They can try to play a little bit later here and maybe hope that Era walk into them as we join on board now with Team Pop-Tarts. Great nades coming out at Arcstar, just a little bit too high as the defensive bombardment goes down as well. So a lot of utility being used on that side to try and flush out the squad that's over at the blue bins.
And I like the unorthodox composition here that was coming through. We'll talk about it for a little bit. It's going to be the Valkyrie, Gibraltar, Caustic. And again, the thought process there, it's kind of like it's almost like a EU type of playstyle, in my opinion. I think that Caustic is really, really popular overseas compared to North America. He used to be extremely strong. It's kind of fallen out of style, but you can see the idea is get the scan with Valkyrie, and then usually around round 2, if you can get that scan going into round 3, you're going to know where that zone's going to go when you're one of these partnered teams, pro teams, whatever that is. And now you're going to go and try to set up with Caustic. But the problem is 2 gray armors again. I think that's back-to-back games for Pop-Tarts that they've really been struggling on the loot. So they need to get that together and get some upgrades early. Maybe say, hey, I'm going to have to rock a scout just for the case that I'm not getting anything. As 303 finds himself in a scuffle right outside of the sorting factory area.
Ooh, Escape almost going down. Dropped to about 40 HP. Huddling in the corner there. Will be able to heal up. And looks like maybe it was 303 that were trying to push up to the blue bins, but were unfortunately sent back by the utility coming out from Team Pop-Tarts that were playing inside the toilet bowl. So 303 are just going to have to be happy playing the jungle gym here on the northeast side of Sorting Factory. You can see a lot of angles that you have to cover here. It can be extremely vulnerable, but it's our Renegades right now in a fight down here at launch site. The zone's going to be pressuring them just a bit. Don't know who's on the other side of this fight. It might be Team Intel that might have swooped around it. It is going to be Team Intel now. They are much healthier. They've got 2 purple armors. Duke just upgrading his, and Renegades are on full retreat here. Remember, this is Zone 1, so they can just go ahead and back away if they need to, run through the zone, but looks like it's going to be Team Intel that have made their way safely into this building now and are going to continue to apply this pressure.
The problem is there's like 20 doors that you have to go through, and everyone's blocking it, but a full send right on over towards Bowser. Rolls does take a lot of damage throughout all of this. Skittle, though, is ready to brawl here with the Gold Mag Spitfire, and there it is. Renegades getting dropped by Team Intel, who won our arenas yesterday, and they're ready to brawl it out inside of this building, and it was very nicely done, but unfortunately for Bowser, I don't know if he was expecting, I think it was Verholst around the corner, and Verholst just caught him off guard. Without any type of Bloodhound scan over towards that right-hand side, that type of thing is going to happen, and very nicely done by Team Intel.
I think it was just miscoordination. They saw, like you were talking about, Tom, a lot of doors that you have to deal with, and so Intel were setting up for a 3-man push from separate angles, and they thought they might have had someone isolated throughout all of that, but you saw Verholst did instantly just back up his teammate, was able to, of course, help him out and take out Bowser, and made that fight pretty easy for them ultimately. Great to see him back on the Bloodhound. I mean, he did a fantastic job. He was on the Octane last night, yeah. But you got to imagine he's definitely happy to be back on that Bloodhound, which he's been doing a fantastic job throughout the qualifiers and now already here in the first official week of Battle Royale SeriesE.
And you can see that they're not afraid to take any fights either. They took it right over towards the Renegade side, and that's a difficult situation to be in if you're Bowser, because you have the longbow, you're peek shooting, but once you hear that that player has a longbow, you're kind of interested in going in on that, and it's kind of a little bit of our arena mindset that we had yesterday, and you have the EVA 8 in the back pocket too, so it's 2 guns that if you're not connecting, and granted if you're not connecting directly, it's difficult to go and deal with. I mean, if you have a Volt EVA 8 in that situation, you're 10 times more likely to win that fight, but now we're on board with the Rockstar rotation, and we know that there's teams directly towards their north-hand side, and there's probably another team that's just waiting where 303 was still at too. So, yeah, there it is. Crummy's going to realize that right now. It's not as free as they were hoping for. Everyone, it seemed so silent. It seemed just like a pub game temporarily, and all of a sudden, all hell's breaking loose for Team Rockstar.
Yeah, it was like a ghost town, right? They were moving from building to building, just kind of free rotations, and no one's shooting at them. Everyone's waiting for the ceasefire to end. And as soon as it looks like it was the Pittsburgh Knights started taking their shots, everyone on the team that was controlling Banana shoots out and peeks at the same time. So now they are in a world of hurt. We'll see if they can recover off of this. No one really ready to push quite yet, but Kimchi Lee does get thirsted off. We do have a number of respawn beacons around, though, and so maybe they can actually get that banner and get him back into the game. But this is why a lot of teams were a little bit hesitant to peek out, and just so many squads right now. A lot more slower pace than what we had in game number 1, where we were already down to, what, 14 squads as round 1 ended. But here we are in round 2. We still have 17, but not for long, as Team Rockstar already get knocked out. That's going to be Era picking up an additional kill point. That might have been additional 2 actually for them, as Tech is sitting on 4 overall.
And that's why it's tough, right? You're thinking that you could go and enter the ghost town that is Sorting Factory. Not really a ghost town, just a bunch of people waiting, like the Wild Wild West, opening up the doors and just firing right at you. But the play is kind of doing what Era's doing, but Era literally has to be worried that another team's going to swoop up behind them because it is still just round 2. You can still take the storm damage, and you have to just watch your back right here. If you start to push in and that team's going to rotate behind you, that makes it a fairly easy sandwich. And now Kupski actually does get knocked and finished. You can see Amu's been so annoying on top of the sorting factory roof, and now 303 is going to occupy one of these small buildings. I'm curious to see what zone this is going to be. Once the action slows down temporarily, we'll have to pull up the map and potentially a scan. But we have, what, 3, 4, 5 teams just on the sorting factory area.
All the buildings being taken up right now is 303. Just squaring up what the opposition have around them. Kungarna playing up top. And as you can see, multiple teams over at the Banana building. And imagine the office building to the south might still be... actually, no, that's out of bounds right now. So never mind. So where are all of the other squads? There's a lot of action taking place. Pop-Tart's in a fight up against Team Liquid. Flanker has already gone down. The nades come out, but it looks like Nocturnal might be able to get the res. Defensive bombardment just to cover the door as well. And so they will be able to safely get this off. They've handed off the bats as well. So Team Liquid do stabilize off that. Cloud9 now making it into the mid-game, not getting into that early game fight with TSM, as Zach Mazer did find a kill throughout this scuffle.
I love the style of play again from Team Pop-Tarts, and I'm really glad to see that Lion does have the scout. When we were on board with them, they had 1 blue and 2 grays. Is now Cloud9 getting just destroyed right there by Team Pringles. Ooh, little smirk right there coming in. Still smiling. Still smiling.
Yeah, we killed Cloud9, guys, for the sake of a Steve Nene. You can look. All right. Swapping over to Team Razor now, as TSM will be able to finish them off here as we go down to the southern side of the map, just outside of launch site, or well, the last building still basically in for launch. Team Razor playing here on the edge, as they do run into some resistance inside, and so can't really take this fight, as anyone can really jump across that chasm from the sorting factory side, and so maybe they wait. They do have a defensive bombardment, but not really what you want to use in this kind of situation here, and so they just back away. They have some time to work with as round 3 will close, and they will be safe on this side, and they do still have some ground and cover to work with.
This is very common of Team Razor, and when we're looking at kind of the situation that Arrow is in, you know that Team Razor's already watched their back and cleared out their back. They take these unorthodox rotations. They know, because their landing spot's been, fairly the same for a while, that they're going to be taking smart rotations where they know exactly where teams are going to be coming from. You can see pings going on over towards that northeast tunnel. They're anticipating somebody coming from there, but you'll be surprised in Apex. Taking little head glitches like this are absolutely amazing. Yes, you have to worry about your right-hand side, but you're not even worried about that team that's inside the building. Yes, there's a couple of pepper shots coming through, but we unfortunately have the player outlines, and to me, Jamerson, that does look like a duo down there, unless the third is watching the back of the tunnel. I really don't think that team is going to be that annoying besides the peppering shots. You'll have to deal with them a little bit later, but either way, I do like this positioning from Razor. This is exactly how their play style is, so it suits them well.
Here's 303. They were making their way on up, and it was Team Intel that's actually holding this building that Razor were eyeing up. Oh boy, Dupe and Skittle Cakes do get cracked. They need some nades on that door right now to try and stop this push. Bubble has been used at the very least, but that might just be a bubble that, Razor are able to use for free, and they'll have one more to throw down. Never mind, it was actually Razor's bubble here, as they get the crack. Baby Thule almost going down, and things are looking so bad for Team Razor, as they were looking to be the aggressors, but they're the ones that get wiped off of the server. Team Intel pick up the +3 there and have the south side of the map for themselves. But now, what is the play? The zone is pulling away from them. A large part of this is going to be on the low ground, just outside that cave as well, that you were noting just beforehand, Tom.
They could do a psycho Skittle Cakes rotation right now with the Valkyrie, and that could be an idea. They also have the bubble to advance with Dupe, but all 3 players on this team have shown just great individual skill and also teamwork, natural teamwork, and also teamwork through probably great communication and a lot of hard work together. But we do get this great overview of the map to find out all the teams and where they're posturing, And we were wondering why Pop-Tarts locked down this location. Well, that zone is continuing to pull over there. It's going to be a priority position. Multiple teams coexisting over towards the sorting building as well, the large building. And then you could also see kind of what was happening over towards where that Razor side was and who was coming outside of the tunnel. So great overview right there from our production team as this zone does start to close. This is going to be a fairly explosive round. I mean, like you were talking about, Jamerson, there is not much cover anymore.
And you can see the drop right into each other. Oh boy. He does have the EVA 8 out, hits for the flesh, but doesn't have enough damage for the critical one. It's going to be 303 versus Team Intel. Never mind. Team Intel will take it. The res does come out, but the zone closing in on them. Never mind. That's the HUD error that happens here. Armor swap as well for Dupe, and that does keep him alive. Bubble there is going to be used as the Phoenix kit will get popped for Dupe, and somehow Team Intel survive that scrap. Team Pop-Tarts, though, trying to put a stop to Team Liquid just outside, but it looks like CLG got involved as well. So a lot of teams on the northern side here collapsing for this. It might even be 4 teams as Phil almost gets cracked with that gold armor. Will make his way onto the other side of that fence. Team Liquid now maintaining good priority on this zone. They've got cover and they are going to be in for the next circle as well.
Love watching how teams play this sorting zone. Again, with so many squads, it makes things fairly difficult. This is a great spot, but you have to hold it down for 115, and that bubble is going to go away in just about 12 seconds. You can see XSET sitting inside the building, multiple teams inside the toilet bowl. There's going to be a mobile respawn beacon coming through as Amu's going to lock that one down. But this is, again, you have Hal, who's been, I believe, yeah, he's got all of TSM down below him. Then you have Team Liquid, who's been predicting this spot. Valkyrie ults, or Valkyrie missile barrages coming in from Team Intel. I mean, Team Liquid, one grenade could just ruin their day.
We got to see some great nades last night. We'll see if anyone has extra utility in on their belts for this, as it seems like XSET, do they have a door? They do. Okay, to at least get out of here, and they'll have the EMP to cause some confusion for them as they try to run in. So keeping that drone alive right now is going to be super important. 26 seconds before the zone starts closing in. If that drone gets taken out, you're not going to have it for your rotate for that EMP. TSM controlling the low ground here. We'll have to contend with, I believe that might be Team Intel on the other. No, wait, no. Team Intel actually pushed up to the the hill towards the Liquid. So I don't know who's on the other side of this fight here for the low. TSM might just want to go ahead and full push them, but we need Snipe Down to get them a good scan onto the hilltop.
I love how you can see just little situations that TSM gets themselves in and how experienced they are in dealing with it. Every little area has to be accounted for in this type of spot. Otherwise, your spot is going to get taken. And TSM understands the situation very, very well. So I love this spot. And the fact that you wouldn't expect this. You see this spot running around the map, right? And you're like, okay, this is just a normal spot, you know, down by a sorting factory, but these players turn it into game-winning situations as Team Pop-Tarts. Oh my goodness, the massive shots are hitting huge, but the zone is closing in and it makes things so difficult to deal with so many teams in the vicinity. Team Liquid finally popping out of their little crevice and coming through and destroying multiple squads and getting the high ground as well, so love this positioning from Team Liquid.
Yeah, Intel are going to be the only ones that can really challenge them. No, wait, they're actually sent down to the low. It's going to be XSET that push out onto Team Liquid here. Bubble has come out from Phil, but they've already lost out on Nocturnal, trying to play around. But XSET will finish off Team Liquid. We are now down to the top four as TSM trying to send it onto them. Was enough damage done here, as it looks like they lose out on reps. Is Kenny going to have enough here left in this 1v2, and it's not going to be enough.
Wow.
No, wait, XSET knock out TSM. We are down to our top three. Team Intel stuck on the low. XSET getting the reses here, and they'll be able to stabilize, it seems, as no team has quite pushed them. CLT, Charlotte Phoenix facing off against Team Intel, and Team Intel win that out. It's going to be a full 3v3 now. Both squads should have enough time for the full heals as well. We do have, it looks like the bubble already being used by Dupe, so they're not going to have that for the next 25 seconds or so. That's going to be a little bit scary, but it is slow on this circle until they have cover to work with, but it's XSET's choice to drop whenever they please, as it looks like Intel will be forced out of their cover first.
I mean, when's the last time we saw an EMP pop off? I can't remember. Could Kenny still have that one in the back pocket? There goes the defensive bombardment. That's going to force everybody to slide up just a little bit. There's going to be a head glitch. Skittle actually gets hit. There's the EMP. There's the execution. Kenny sliding in. Rambo getting a lot of damage over towards the side. I love watching crypto teams go to work. Xset trying to finish him off, but Intel's putting up a pretty decent fight. Oh no, are you kidding me?
Big game for Team Intel there as they walk away the winners of game number 2. Slow playing that one at the end, doing a great job of controlling the south side of the zone. GG's to them. And, you know, with 2 of our teams that really did pop off in game number 1, not having as a huge performance here, this is going to leave the field pretty wide open, especially considering G2, who were 1 point off first place, they went down as the second team. So a lot of ground will be made by a lot of our other squads. We're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, we'll have game number 3 right after this.
Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
How much do you think Pringles paid these people?
Hardly anything. Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack. Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles. We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. Stack Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
How much do you think Pringles paid these people?
Hardly anything. Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack. Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles. We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
How can we get out?
We can't, Summer. They warned me this would happen and I didn't listen. Stack Pringles, make endless new flavors. Stacking Pringles to make new flavors. Make endless new flavors. Barbecue, wavy, and sour cream and onion equals a 3-layer dip stack.
Hey, shake it, kiddo. Love Dad. Oh.
I've got this.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats. A little love when it's needed.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Yeso here, and our second game is done, and we get the back-to-back wins from our partnered squads. We saw Team Razor led by Mr. Hackula taking game number 1, and then Team Intel, my pick to win this season of Series E, grabbing game number 2. Big performance there. Let's check out our player of the game here for the second game of the day, and it's my man Skittlecake. 7 kills, 2 assists, not hitting the same damage numbers that we saw from Mr. Hackula in the first one, but still just south of 1,500 damage there. A respectable performance and a good win there from Team Intel. Was looking a little scary, not gonna lie. We got that awesome beauty shot courtesy of our awesome observer out there, James Lopez, and we saw Xset sitting with the high ground. Looked like they were going to have the advantage, but Intel hitting their shots, and they win the fight. And things getting really interesting. We're seeing, you know, C9 hasn't been making it as late into these games as maybe we would expect. We saw TSM getting into the top 7 there, but they end up losing a fight to, I believe, Xset as well. So it's been very crazy. Lots of fights left and right. The early games been a little slower, but we get, you know, into these later circles, and we're still looking at 8 to 10 to 12 teams, and then things get really exciting really fast, and they've been delivering on a couple of exciting games to start the day. I know we were obviously all here at Esports Arena itching to kick off Series E a week ago. We weren't able to do it, but things are delivering here today. It's the first official day of Season 3 of Series E, and we've gotten some great games so far, and still plenty more to come, right? We've got just the first 2 in the books of 6 that we will play today, and the partnered squads showing up strong, and that's always the question. If you guys followed last season, we saw TSM winning week after week in a row, and the partnered squads couldn't seem to do anything. There's still plenty of action left today, and a lot of things left to be decided, but definitely a good start from the Series E partnered pros. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll check out our Mobile One high performance, see how things shake out on the leaderboard, and get ready for game number 3. We'll be back.
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind to shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
Welcome back, guys, to Series E. We are getting ready for game number 3. We've had 2 separate winners so far. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard to see where all of our teams currently stand. Our partner squad's doing fantastically, but it will be Team Intel now taking the lead over our game one winner of Team Razor, who only ended up getting 3 points overall in game number 2. So they keep themselves there in the top 3 with G2. It looks like G2 were not able to get any points. We saw them, of course, getting wiped on that 50-50 down at Thermal Station, Tom.
That's more like it when we were talking about looking at the leaderboard. I mean, the first game we had 2 teams that had a combined 50 points between the 2 of them. So this is much closer, and looking forward to see the teams on the bottom kind of step it up, especially C9, CLG, and that little crunch of partnered teams that we have down there right now. Team Intel, Razor, Pop-Tarts holding it down on the left-hand side. And one of the best parts of the previous game number 2, is Team Pringles wiping C9 and then immediately getting third-partied by TSM and that smile coming through. That was a great moment. I love the fact that we do have some of the webcams or the cameras for the picture-in-picture for our pro players and our partner teams. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it, but I hate that it took me 2 games to realize that was going on. You know, doing some Twitch rivals and stuff like that, like, you're just kind of used to it, right? Because we just take the feeds straight from the streamers, so, like, you're kind of used to that. But here we go. Let's take a look at the Mobile One high-performance moment of game number 2 in just a moment. And it will be, it looks like, yep, what you asked for, Tom.
Yeah, this is great. And a little bit of friendly shooting of the box right there is, oh, there's CSM. Okay, here they come. All right, we're not getting out of this one. And, CSM actually surprised me later on in the game. I was not expecting them to go down the way that they did in the final fight. And, Team XSET somehow wasn't able to execute the final fight. That was another great moment that could have been our Mobile One high performance moment too. There was a lot of great moments from game number 2, but I don't know what went wrong. Where you see a defensive bombardment at the very end of the game, it starts connecting onto Skittle Cakes. It forced the other 2 players to the bottom of the ramp outside, and then you have the EMP that comes in from Kenny. Everything seemed to be perfectly executed right there. I guess it just goes to show why Intel won our arenas match yesterday. They are ready to skirmish whenever, especially there's not going to be a third party.
Yeah, Verhulst was the first one to go down in that fight as well. We have to note that Verhulst has been an amazing fragger for this squad. But as we noted yesterday, all 3 of them looked extremely proficient to be able to take their 1v1s, 1v2s if they need to as well. And so Team Intel really stepping it up for Series E Season 3, making their way in here for the first time. And so it's great to see that coming out from them. I think one thing to note here, like when you don't see that C9 and TSM fight in the like early game, you have to imagine that, you know, there's a lot of shadowing going on in terms of the rotation. They're going to be very close to each other. So when you're Team Pringles, the next time you end up fighting C9 or TSM, you got to expect the other to be there for the third party. And as much as you might want to gloat and bask in the win of the 3v3 fights, this is still BR. And there's going to be third parties.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a great point, is that they mirror each other so much that you can predict that. And maybe when you predict that, it gives you a little bit of an advantage in terms of how you should set up and anticipate the fights. As you say, look at this, again, overview flying camera to see exactly what happens with our 50-50s. We had so many different fights happening over towards the lava side, towards the staging side. We had another fight that was happening in the back of thermal station, surprisingly. And uh-oh, get out of there.
Oof. Verl's almost going down there. Dropped to about 45 HP, and he will fall. You don't get to see the bow check bow often, but off drop, every gun is going to be used as Era. Won't be able to get that first knock. Stunny needs to heal up with that med kit, so that buys them a little bit of time, but you can see Tech is trying to take advantage here. Does have to be careful. There's a 2v1 right in front of him, and so he will try and wait things out a little bit. Gets tagged down. Arcstar forces him out of position. He is forced to drop down to the low, and so Team Intel might have an opportunity to recover here. You have an armor swap for Tech, but he still needs some help behind it.
The thing is, he has syringes. He's also playing Octane. That armor swap is huge for them. Now Stunny gets back to full shields as well. They're just going to continue to bait. Problem is, now this is so difficult because you're waiting for the third party to... Oh my goodness. That is so unfortunate. That is so unfortunate for Team Intel. Great news for Era there. There's a grenade possibly flying in, but I'm worried about a potential third party. Both these teams could end up griefing each other.
Cheez-It versus Charlotte Phoenix, though, is it looks like Cheez-It got the first knock at the very least, but have they been able to capitalize? It's taking a long time for them to try and push up at this point, so the res might have come through. They're stuck here on the low. Gold cargo bot, and it's just the turbocharger. Unfortunate. But yeah, they're going to have to continue to... actually, they do at least secure the thirst onto Kodagami, but now do they continue to try to make this fight happen? We'll see, because like you said, third party, it's come down time for the teams to start rotating in, so the Lava City team can come over here, the Tree team can come over here, as Rockstar find themselves in a fight as well. Not too far out from staging, it's going to be Team Intel. They were able to get Verhulst back up, and Strictly thirsted. He was so disconnected from his squad.
Goes to show Team Intel, not just a team that can fight, a team that can play around basically crappy situations. I mean, getting 50-50 to getting knocked right off the rip, not having even a gun. Now you're going to be getting whatever Strictly's loot was, and probably wasn't that bad. Probably better than what you had even throughout that situation. So nice job now, Rockstar, in a weird predicament here. Most likely that banner is being camped for the next 60 seconds. So how bad do you want to get your teammate back into the game, Kim Chile?
Yeah, they'll have bubble, they'll have, I gotta imagine, the jump pad, but oh, nope, they've been spotted out. There's the bubble, and he has to bail on this one as the missiles come out from Team Intel there, as Kim Chile does back away, but is he out of danger quite yet? No, he's gonna be forced to bat, but you gotta imagine the drop down's already coming, and they're on his roof right now. He needs help, he needs Crummy to turn around, but what a great push out from Intel, covering both entrance and exit. And we'll be able to finish him off. On Rockstar, on our left, Crummy to just rat this one out. Oh, he secured the banner.
Okay, I like that play from Crummy. He's going to sacrifice one and get one back potentially, and then maybe even do the whoop, swoop, and pull over here to try to get the other teammate back in here. Kim Chi Lee's loving what he's seeing right now from Crummy. Rice Krispie Treats, though, this is, again, a very awkward spot to be in. You are not expecting to fight on your rotation coming outside of Dome. Could be a handful of teams right here. We know the 50-50 is having over towards the Lava City side. This could be Team Razor in the vicinity. Who knows?
Yeah, they'll have the Valkyrie ultimate to make this rotation. It's a little bit difficult because of the egg dome shells there. But if they want to walk it, maybe they can walk it as well. We know that the 50-50 was taking place over by launch site, but that might have largely fizzled out as no team really committing to it despite the thirst out from one team. And so Rice Krispie Treats, it looks like it's going to be a free walk in for them for the time of being, and they can hold on to that Valkyrie Ultimate for a better time here as Zone 1 closes.
Yeah, you want to fly in, but at the same time, you're not at a spot where you could fly into the center of the zone, so you might as well just kind of play the outskirts. Maybe you can find a beacon along the way, get a scan, find out where round number 3 is. Then that's the best time to ideally make your way through. But just in round number 1, you shouldn't face too much gatekeeping directly on the edge of the zone. It's when you start to make your way in towards the priority areas where people are looking to pick people off. Kind of just like this building right here is G2's actually going to take the fight towards them. And this is typically a spot where you see them fight for in the end game, but this is still very early to take this. G2 feels like this is secluded.
Yeah, a lot of teams could be coming from that tree set. They're not running a Bloodhound, so they don't have the additional information as Crummy does get finished off. I don't know if he ever got the res, but it looks like CLG will be able to finish him off. G2 getting scanned up as Gentrifying was trying to make his approach, and so he's going to be forced to queue back. So it's a rare sight actually seeing the Wraith at the very least. To note that they've got 2 mobility legends along with that. I was about to say Winston. Oh my god, all the Overwatch is coming back to me in the last 2 days. I don't know what's going on. The Gibraltar, excuse me. Razor in a fight with Charlotte Phoenix though, as Baby Thule goes down. Hakulo trades back as well. The fight probably taking place on the southern side of the map.
Designful keeps getting peppered with a decent amount of damage. Oh no. Stink, I'm surprised that he's getting away. Yeah, Octane extremely fast, but with just a sliver of HP, dodging out of that one, and not enough time to grab Greek's banner. Does have Kodagami, gonna run right past that one, though, and say, gotta find a safer spot to potentially res. I mean, you could loop back around if you wanted to. Problem is you want to keep running, because if this is a Bloodhound team, you can't rat things out, as Verholz actually gets dropped by Phil. So Team Liquid taking on Team Intel, who won the previous game off the scenes battle event.
Yep, it looks like a fight over here as Team Liquid drop down. Dupe does get knocked as well, and Verholz gets thirsted throughout all of that, so they're going to leave just one remaining for Team Intel, are winners of game number 2. So it seems like there might be a curse on winning your game. Next game, you go down pretty early on. We'll see though if they can get recover the banners and get him back into it. But Team Liquid, they're no strangers to being able to play on the edge, and I think they might just camp the banners for now as they continue to look for more and more fights here on the edge.
That was an impressive little pick right there, and I think it is. It's not the Madden curse; it's the SeriesE curse. Okay, you win a game on our opening day, you lose the next one. It's just facts. You don't even get a point. You go out in style, actually, blazing without even a chance, just like how G2 actually dropped in the back of Thermal as well, too. So Team Razor, they are locking down top of sorting. It's surprising. I don't think I've ever seen Zeratricky maybe once with gray armor before, because their loot is always really, really good. Not just that, they're always fighting fights and getting damage in the early game. So now waiting for that to kind of get charged up. He does have one of the stronger R301s as well, and I'm always interested to see what the Gibraltars decide their secondary is going to be, whether that's going to be Mastiff, PK, EVA 8. I tend to kind of lean more towards the Mastiff just on Gibraltar, especially because of the ADS. I feel like players make a little bit of a mistake of zooming in with the EVA 8 too much. You do have an opportunity. You want to zoom in with Gibraltar, but you have an opportunity on the other legends to improve your strafe when you don't ADS. So I like this massive combination that Zeratricky has. He's going to go with the EVA 8 as I talk about that. So the EVA 8 is still too strong, and Zeratricky's showing, okay, this is why you're casting. I'll leave this one to the big boys over here. We're taking the most overpowered gun.
Yeah, even though his arm shield got nerfed, right, where the shotgun damage can bleed through instead of just, any damage can bleed through without just getting completely soaked up, you can still trade effectively throughout the bubble along with your arm shield. Back in the day, of course, you were just looking for the big bursts with the PK, with the Massive, but right now, the EVA meta, just dish out so much damage if you got a decent bolt on, and he does have, I believe, a blue bolt on that EVA 8, and so it's ready to go to just tear through people. This circle, it was a very similar one to what we had in game number 1, but it's going to go ahead and pull towards staging this time. What a lot of people expected in game number 1, but now in game number 3, it's going to play out a bit more how they were expecting. And there's no way, Vax. What are you doing? We got the Black Market Boutique with that Loba out for CLG.
We've seen it before. It actually was something that was being played in the ALGS finals for our EMEA region, so not surprising, but Vaxlon has to dip out. There's the EMP coming through. He's going to bracelet back on over towards the teammates and play this one safely. You do get a scan on the zone, seeing that it's over towards the staging side, so it's going to be fairly interesting. And we do get the request that you hoped for, Jamerson. A nice variety of our zones so far. I would love to see eventually, as we're going to be moving into halftime here very shortly, but I would love to see some of our building endings after this. If we could get like a skyhook one, a fragment one, that'll be awesome, because we've had some pretty open areas so far. But we saw, again, just the importance of Gibraltar in general in the arenas. And it doesn't change with the VR mode. You need the Gibraltar just hands down for these skirmishes, for the get out of jail free card, for whenever you need your bubble, for the quick reses, but most importantly for when these zones do pull into the open area, which more often than not they do.
Scurry just single tapping with the flatline, even though he doesn't have the Anvil receiver on it. Gonna try and hit the long range shots. Vaxlon is up there, and Shiny's the one that's, I believe, was running the Sentinel. Was about 600 damage off from getting the red Evo shield for himself.
No way.
This might be Intel. Excuse me, Team Liquid on the other side here. That they were lurking on the northern side of the zone as they were trying to walk this one in. As you can see, Vax is trying to set himself up with an off angle here, and he does have an R301. Team Pringles playing off of Harvester right now. Looks like they're getting ready for their rotation out. You have the Ultimate Excel being popped by Fury here. As Team Liquid, no, they're actually still here on the northern side of the zone, actually playing by the train side, and they have a team right below them.
There goes the scan, perfectly executed right there. Flanker defensive bombardment is going to come in, but the bubble has been used. You can see the bridge is eating a lot of that as well. They do have the location from these players from the previous scan, so it's just about taking angle, waiting for opportunity, and then starting to collapse. As Hal actually does get a knock right there onto Mercy, so Team Pringles trying to not meet the same fate that they previously had. There's also a drone in the air, so two teams in the vicinity. Nice Sentinel shot, not going to connect though, coming in for Fury. They're going to have to give Mercy the old uppercut right there to get down towards the team, but instead this is just a dip out situation, just way too much heat.
Yeah, TSM will be able to finish off Mercy here as Liquid are still trying to turn the screws on this squad underneath them. It's hard for them to want to go for the full send because they know there's another squad that's been poking away at them. Great shots with the wingman here, just through the peaks. As Phil connects onto those. Get the knock onto Hackula. It's going to be Team Razor below them now, and maybe it's the full send. Bubble has been used, but been allowed the rest to go off, surprisingly enough, from Team Liquid, playing this one super cautiously.
Nocturnal has this off angle. They're worried about a third party here, and oh no way, are they going to take the angle again? Look at these angles. Oh, they get Hackula again. Now they have to full send. It has to be a bubble from Phil immediately. They're not going to use the bubble. This is kind of an interesting play. They're going to save it until the very end, and that's a nice squad wipe from Team Liquid. If we don't have anything better than that, that has to be our Mobile 1 high performance. So, I mean, that angle through the bridge, if you haven't seen that one yet, well, welcome to high-level Apex Legends. That was just so well executed from Team Liquid.
And that's why experience is so important here. Knowing you're able to shoot through those stairs. Now they start moving up, and let's imagine CLG keeping an eye on them. It did actually push up, but they are aware of it. Maybe some missiles land on them. It's actually going to be Team Intel, and so they were able to recover throughout all of that, even though Liquid brought them down to just one. So it was just good of them to stay alive for now. As oh wait, no, that was Rockstar. Never mind, that they were able to catch out, right? I'm actually confusing my teams right now. Intel, got to be careful here though. Getting shot up from behind, down the train tracks right now. They do have the rocks to work off of, but it looks like the bubble is going to be forced out, and so now they're going to keep an eye on Liquid as they make their move, hitting behind those bins as well. They try to full send it. Got to be careful not to fall down here. They're going to have to commit to the drop down, and looks like it's just going to be a fight between Team Liquid and Team Intel.
Man, that has to be so annoying for Team Liquid. You have Skittle Cakes with the chopper at the very top. Blue Mag. Nice job kind of fending him off right there with a little bit of damage, but he's not giving up quite yet. Team Liquid in a similar spot that TSM was before, on that low ground. Lots of different areas to watch. Now they're going to full send over towards the bottom of the bridge, which is a super common place to hold. And interestingly enough, I don't believe there was a team over there, so they are looking fairly safe for now as they actually find some players that are even further below. That's going to be Vaxlon inside the bubble. Oh, wow. Huge damage from the top of the rope. So there is a team on top of the bridge, apparently, a team under the bridge, and then another team directly under the bridge. So a 3-stack over here to where his Team Liquid is.
And Liquid Nocturnal will be able to just heal. Never mind. He's down. As Splash picked that one up, it's going to be turns to get the knock on him. They have the bubble for this res. Nades coming down with the span. They're going to at least secure the thirst. Maybe Nocturnal somehow survives throughout all of that. But the res, it's going to be important here for them to try to get back in. He's the mobility for the squad, and it looks like they're somehow going to do it. The body block coming out, but he has to pull off that res. They will have to commit to the bubble res here, showing a little bit of weakness, but team above them don't notice it quite yet, and so they don't drop down onto them. So that does allow Team Liquid to stabilize here. It was Rice Krispies that were poking away from the south side of this bridge. They have a huge opportunity here, do Rice Krispies, to play gatekeeper. A lot of the squads coming in from the northern side, but now they've got Liquid right below them.
What is this? The full send here with the jump pad. Now things are getting super, super interesting. I love the grenade through the crevice right there. Such a weird spot to be in right now for Rice Krispie Treats. They want to gatekeep, but at the same time, they have to get into the zone. You're not expecting a team to be playing underneath this area on this platform, but this is a great spot with tons of cover as long as that left-hand side is being accounted for. So Rice Krispies doing a perfect job right now gatekeeping Team Liquid, while also not giving up their position. Light Star Joe, big 73 damage to push that team off behind them, but again, they can't get too focused. That zone's starting to close in.
Liquid finding another knock on CLG. Shiny finished off, and there we go. Down to 14 squads, 41 players remaining here as Rice Krispie Treats throwing in some nades onto the team that's inside that train card, only hitting for the 19 off of that one, as it looks like Team Liquid are now making their move into staging. As, we'll see if they find a safe spot to play off of. A lot of teams above them, as well as Rice Krispie Treats have to keep an eye on that. But it looks like most of their north is cleared, and now the biggest threat to them is going to be the team above. Cloud9 go down. Does Zach Mazer to that defensive bombardment from Applejacks here. They do have the bubble being popped, but they can't really go for the res at all. Another defensive bombardment going down as Applejacks will be able to pick this one up. Sliding down the hill. They do lose out on at least one kill point there. One person jumping up top with that jump pad. So now it's all about the fight for the bridge here. Kupski's got to be careful. Does Q back to the safety of his squad. Scans coming from every angle, keeping them very wary. And so they do stabilize there. We'll be able to hold on to that. It looks like it's Team Cheez-It above them. We got G2 also playing on the high ground. Right below them is going to be TSM. It's actually pushed up. We saw them actually get into this angle earlier on. And now Team Applejacks getting picked apart from below and from above. TSM need to get this win in the team fight without losing anyone. And because of that, Team Cheez-It will not drop down for the third party.
Team Cheez-It doesn't see a knock, so they're going to fall back. They didn't realize that Snipe Down elected to hit a battery, which gave them about 4 seconds to capitalize on that. The problem is, another team peppering over towards the corner makes things even scarier. Ooh, Hal with the flatline, running out of ammo. Hopefully can find some heavy. If not, we'll see him switch over here very soon. Doesn't even need a bolt for his EVA 8. This guy's an absolute madman over here. Does he like the flatline that much that he's going to go with 38 shots? This guy's insane.
Yeah. Different ammo, same problem for Imperial Hal here. Snipe Down sitting on 324 light. Might be time to actually swap off, especially because we're coming down to the wire. 6 squads remaining, 1 team down to a duo. As G2 make the push onto Liquid, and it was Liquid that was the duo right now. G2 have about 6 kills to their name, and so bouncing back after the unfortunate game number 2 for them. Pop-Tarts here in the position I believe that TSM were playing just beforehand, and they do have a number of barrels set up, but they also have a number of barrels actually going off right now. Would like to see how many Exile have in the back pocket for himself, as Z Davis finds a knock on Detect Candy. So Era about to get knocked out here. Just 1 player remaining, I believe, as Study does get finished off. G2, though, with full high ground control, and TSM make that push on to Team Pop-Tarts, taking them out. Designful just decides to full send it onto the Jibby. Almost takes out Reps, but Imperial Hal is there with the EVA 8, taking out Designful, punishing him for his hubris, and he goes down. G2, we're in such an excellent position. It looks like the rest of the team didn't get the memo. We're dropping down now. G2 are left to try and defend the high ground without Designful.
Yeah, Designful really wanted to take down TSM right there, and the shots were great, but the bait and switch coming out from Hal and Reps was phenomenal. You could see as soon as Reps was hitting the battery, he fell out to the very backhand side of his bubble, and the bubble went down just at the right time as that final wingman shot wasn't coming down. Hal comes through, covers Reps as he's hitting the battery, and all is okay for TSM. And I think Hal said, hey, guys, we want to take these fights mainly because I need flatline ammo. You see that box right there? We need that box. All these boxes are mine. None of these had heavy ammo. What were these guys thinking? What kind of meta are we in? No one's using the flatline besides me. That's me when I'm looking for energy ammo 9 times out of 10. But here goes Team Cheez-It. Looking like they're locking down again one of these blue trailers, which we've seen locked down a handful of different times. They want to try to get this banner, I think. He's just posturing around it. They have a mobile respawn beacon. If they're going to do it, they have to do it right now, but I don't think there's time for G2.
Yeah, it's all up to what G2 do here, right? As the duo, they're the wild card in this final 3-squad engagement. They drop down onto TSM as Team Cheez-It are just holding inside their train cart for now, but it looks like G2 might just commit to the high and force Cheez-It to fight them, allowing Team TSM actually a moment to get in. They're hearing the fight taking place right now. Does Imperial Hal have the jump pad for his squad to try and take that high ground now as G2, despite being down as a duo, they're still putting up a good fight, and it looks like TSM could just climb up for free.
Oh, this nade's going to be huge.
By some shots. Yeah, you can see Imperial Hal holding on down to the nades. Bubbles have been used from either side, and Result gets the first knock onto Finicky. They know now it's going to be a 2v2. They've got the man advantage. This is going to be TSM's win in just a short moment.
Yeah, and Hal's going to advance as fast as possible while trying to make sure that he's being covered, and then the angle gets taken. Perfectly executed from TSM. They are going to take the game number 3, and what a grenade, what patience from Hal. And also just that bait and switch taking down Designful towards the bottom side right there was so huge, covering Reps and the way that they were able to do it.
Yeah, and should be a big game for TSM. I believe they were like in 4th place or 5th place heading into this game. They had about 14 points overall, but that was a big one for them. Got the plus 12 along with about, I want to say, maybe 15 kills. It was a big one for TSM to bring it back and in, but with G2 getting a pretty decent finish there, hitting the top 3, they will be able to, I believe, overtake teams like Intel and such. So we're going to go ahead and take a break as we have hit our halftime. And when we get back, it will be the final 3 games of the evening right after this.
Hey, shake it, kiddo. Love Dad. Oh.
I've got this. Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats. A little love when it's needed.
What's your favorite smash?
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind and shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws, they're Jumbo.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach. Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
All right, folks, welcome back. The first half of the day is all set. 3 games in the books, and we see TSM capping off the first half of our first Pro Night of Season 3 with a big win. We started with Team Razor and Team Intel grabbing wins, and now the pros get on the board. We'll have to see how that does, in fact, shake up the standings for our Mobile One leaderboard when we go back to Jamerson and Tom in a little bit. But let's look back at game number 3. TSM getting a big win, winning that late fight against Cheez-It and Finicky there. I was joking a little bit in production. It may be a different team, but it seems that Joey Blackout's spirit lives on. That little 1v3 push from Finicky doesn't work out, and then they lose the fight. But still, Team Cheez-It getting into second place. That's 9 points for them. I also believe they had 4 total kills in that game, so that should be 13 overall to build on what they had in games 1 and 2. When we have the player of the game here, we'll pull it up for you for that last game, and it's going to be Hal. There it is. 9 kills, 5 assists, almost 2,100 damage there, 2083. Great performance from Hal there, continuing to just do what he does, right? These numbers don't surprise me in any sense. Hal was a big player last season. Reps and Snipe Down make up one of the most lethal squads in the world. There's a reason that TSM is always so hyped up very consistently. Production has a little note for me here. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. That's okay. Yeah, okay. So one thing I did want to do, though, during halftime here is, we've built out some awesome new stats graphics. Obviously, we get the API, so we get to take a deep look on kind of what's going on a game-to-game basis here. And I wanted to talk about teams Intel versus Razor. I've highlighted them multiple times. Obviously, they won the first 2 games of the day, and we're going to pull it up here for you here full screen. Look at that. So that's their kills through the first 3 games so far today. 19 kills for Intel to the 17 of total kills. And that average team damage is their average as a full 3-man for the first 3 games. So Intel with almost 2,700 damage per game for them, the 1 win. And average placement so far, 8.3. So Intel looking strong. They were at the top of our leaderboard after 2 games. They were able to get, I believe, into top 10 in this 3rd game as well, so that's certainly helpful. Meanwhile, Team Razor coming out strong, 17 kills, that 10.6 placement. I think they want to improve on that a little bit. They had a very strong first game. They've fallen off just a little bit in the last 2, but we know they can come in strong when Mr. Hakulo is on his game, so we'll have to keep an eye on these 2 squads as we go through the back half here. If you remember and watched last season, it was very late in the season when we finally saw a partnered squad come out on top on a Pro Night. It was the former Team Rice Krispies Treats roster back in Season 2. But the fact that these 2 partnered squads coming out strong to start the day here on the first Pro Night of the season, I think is promising. And the real question we're going to have is, depending on how the Mobile One leaderboard shakes out here at the end of our break, who is the pro team that's going to try and chase them down? TSM certainly going to have a good shot, but can they keep things rolling through the last 3 games of the day? Tons of questions. The awesome thing is we'll have the answers here for you shortly. 3 more games to go today. I'm going to go take a break, but I'll be back soon. We'll return with Jamerson, Tom, and game number 4 here shortly.
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true spot trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. The memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Put the balls in the breaks. I'm talking one chance that was so good for the goal. It's one shot, not a future for sure. Let's go.
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
All right, welcome back, guys, to Series E. We are getting ready for the second half now. We've had three separate winners, TSM taking game at number 3. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard to see where they stand now on the leaderboard. Before that, they were in about 4th or 5th place, and now they put themselves comfortably in 2nd, with G2 now taking 1st place with 47 points overall, Tom.
TSM is looking so good after that game. Surprisingly, that G2 is even in 1st place right now. But they've been slaying out, and you could see the way that they were trying to get at TSM down below. They realized the situation. Hey, if we let TSM continue to go to the late game, they're going to be annoying, so we got to try to capitalize on that right now. Unfortunately, not everyone on the same page is designed for. You saw the portal was coming out, I believe, by gentrifying, and then they just were a little bit split, and then TSM going to take full advantage of that. So it's going to be interesting to see, again, which teams are going to try to put up the fight against these top teams, because TSM is looking like they were in Season 2 form, but I want to see Team Intel, Team Razer, Pop-Tart, some of these other partner teams come through swinging.
One thing I want to note, I could be wrong. I tried to do some quick maths here. G2 had 25 points heading into game number 3, so they put 22 points on there. They got the +7. So they had another 15-kill game there in game number 3. So this could have been absolutely huge for them. I mean, it was. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One high-performance moment of game number 3. And there were a lot, but it was ultimately here TSM knowing exactly what was going on. G2 decided they were going to take the fight over to Team Cheez-It. They got the knock on to Finicky, and it was just all TSM from here.
Not really sure what Cheez-It's thought process was. Unfortunately for them, they thought if they got onto that platform that was going to be the safe spot. Instead, it was not very safe at all. And Hal takes just full advantage of the situation, waiting for the sound cues, knowing and timing when that bubble is going to go away. You can see the arc star in his hand. You were wondering, is he going to stick everybody? No, everyone full sends it over towards the bubble. He could have easily sent that a little bit too early, but instead he waits perfectly until that one is timed. And that grenade, not as strong as the grenade we saw from Hackil yesterday, but still a solid one nonetheless.
And G2 still showing how dangerous they are, even if they're playing a man down, especially here in the late game. Getting that knock on to Finicky was huge for TSM to find this opening. But yeah, we have G2 now in the lead with 1st place. I believe, 7 points above TSM currently. But this is TSM now starting to really open up We're not seeing the 50-50s between them and Cloud9 over at Fragment. Currently, maybe things do change here in the second half. We're going to find out as we get ready for game number 4 very shortly here. But yeah, this is great to see TSM starting to fire on all cylinders, having some great rotations and some great shot calling so far.
Typical TSM playstyle. I mean, we knew in some of the earlier games that they were stuck in a difficult spot with rotations, but this time they kind of fought their way through. You could see already 7 kills, 5 assists coming in from Hal. So they were able to, again, work their way towards the edge, but then they find their way in the middle of the circle at the very end. And that's just great patience, great timing, and great location, just in terms of being able to put yourself at the right spot at the right time. That's something TSM's always been able to do. And again, the timing's so great, not just with the rotations, but with the grenade, the patience to go in third party. They could have went there early and said, hey, we want even more points. We want to try to, get all of these kills, because they know the situation, exactly what it is, a 3-on-3-on-2. Instead, they just wait and they mop up a majority of those either way. So I really like that. But the big key moment in this game, besides the very end, was, again, when Reps was so close to getting knocked by Designful, and Hal hit 3 straight EVA 8 shots and dropped him in a matter of a second.
And even before that, really, they set up that position for themselves, right? They cleared out a number of squads, Pop-Tarts, and then who was it that was before them, right underneath the bridge? I believe it was Rice Krispies. I can't quite remember right now, but they had to clear out a number of squads to actually have that safe for themselves, maintaining just full control over the low ground and not being contested. And like you said, setting up for that bait and switch when Reps almost went down. Designful got really thirsty for it, leaving G2 into the duo, and then of course ultimately having to push SeriesE here on the high ground. So TSM just played this one expertly from start to finish, as we are now getting ready to head into game number 4. It's the second half. We have 3 games left to go tonight. Will TSM continue to build off of this momentum? Let's go ahead and join them on the drop over at Frag East.
And it looks like another even push from everybody, or another even drop from everybody. Are going to have about 3 50-50s to get things underway. TSM is going to be safe, though, and love watching TSM loot. I mean, Hal's like, all right, I'm not even interested in going towards that Mozambique or that Bocek bow. I'm just going to go directly towards the R301 and the blue armor. Priorities, Hal. I love to see it. Speaking of R301, there's another one right there inside of the loot bin. And then Stink's already getting into a little bit of a scuffle with this 50-50. And if I remember correctly, Jamerson, which team was this? This was whoever fought early and then they died, right? And then they
it's going to be SeriesE.
Team SeriesE.
SeriesE, who had triple white armors in the last fight, and positions are kind of swapped here. SeriesE now this time playing on the western side, I believe. Charlotte Phoenix were playing the south side. Early bubble coming out from Golden here. Does he have any heals? He's desperately going to need it as he drops down, only hitting the small heals as well. Stink getting the knock onto Mollis, and now it's all up to Finicky. Left in a 1v2 here, and SeriesE are knocked out. They were our second place team from that last game, and it looks like the curse does live on. The Charlotte Phoenix went out on this 50-50, and it's pretty early on, so really no opportunities for a third party unless someone comes from Tree, but it doesn't look like that is going to be the case. Team Intel were fighting in their 50-50, and they lost out on Dupe. They were able to get the banner at the very least, but Skittlecakes has gone down, so now Team Intel on the back foot as Verhulst is going to try and hoof it to try and get a res for his squad mates.
Yeah, which res do you pick, though? This is where things get so weird, because unless you're up the very edge of the zone, you're feeling fairly safe, but you don't want to hit that res down towards that little hot spring area. You're gonna have to go somewhere else. Train, a team just landed there. They're probably still there looting, or at least on their way of rotating out wherever the zone's gonna be. So at this point, Verhulst, you have to just rat it out. And there's the shots. They saw the trail flying through, and there's the charge. Oh no, poor Verhulst. The hunt is on.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate because he just saw someone crafting over at Lava Fissure, and really, this is the time where teams start moving out. Scan out, no one actually chasing him, but that means he's given away his position, unfortunately, for Verhulst. So Team Intel going to be playing off the back foot. We're going to have a Lava Fissure, maybe stage ending here. You can see the pings going down. A lot of teams are going to start prioritizing train tracks. And so now this might be one of those opportunities where maybe he tries to run like super far east, go over to like Fragment, try and get a res off if he can navigate this. But there are so many teams already starting to converge on the circles. Now we're on board with the Pittsburgh Knights making their way through staging and through sorting. Now making their way over towards Harvester.
For this zone, oh man, it could be very close to where Vorholz actually is. I could be thinking Hot Springs ending. We saw him kind of fly right past the Hot Springs area. That's a very common ending that we've seen before, on top of where that zip line is, where the bottom buildings could be. There's even an ending directly below the bridge that we've seen before too. So curious to see which spots the pro players are going to pick and how they're going to prioritize the situation that is in front of them, as we do see CLG, again, with that unorthodox composition, Vaxon getting the black market, getting the gold armor as well, and you're going to have to find something for Shiny and Scurry, though. You're not going to really try to do anything with just the grays, as Vaxon actually has to dip out because they're getting shot. Now they're being pinched, and that means Bubble has to come out for Shiny. This is not good. Everybody grab on. We're getting out of here.
They can't hang around here too long, which is why they're going to go ahead and take this risky rotation, just because when you're in this area, you have to worry about TSM, you have to worry about Cloud9 that might rotate through. They're already a little bit late on this timing here. Zone is closing up, and so they're going to take a breather here on the out of bounds, and they should drop down. But now, do they know the positions of the teams that were playing inside Train? Looks like they will be safe here as they drop down, and they'll be able to play off of this. But being here stuck on the low, it means they're not going to have as many opportunities to play off these whites to try and upgrade them, especially if Shiny goes down just super close as the Phoenix kit that gets handed over to him.
Always good when you have the black market, though, and well, they have an armor upgrade. I mean, Train, we all know how the loot over there isn't the very best, so I'm not surprised to see not any spare blues that are laying around on the ground. If you're going to get the blues, it's going to have to come from one of these bodies, if they even have one up there. Still playing, I would say, like chickens, but chickens don't hit that hard. Scurry realizing that right now, a lot of his health gone.
Yeah, he's going to pop a second Phoenix kit here, and so now that black market boutique is going to be super important for them. They should be able to get another one up very shortly. The cooldown on that one very low, but how much extra meds are just kind of laying around for free? I gotta imagine it's very low, as Shiny doesn't have any damage quite yet on that Gibraltar's white shield. Now is Rockstar making their move through, going through Lava Fissure here. They can float around here. There's no really pressure on them to move, as they are safe in the zone.
And one of the things I've loved about Kimchi Lee is, unfortunately, they haven't had the best games, but the facial expressions from Kimchi Lee haven't changed at all. When I die, I get angry. He just has this look on his face, just like, yeah, whatever, we go next game. Calm, cool, and collected. And that really helps in these long games, because 6 games ends up lasting 3 or 4 hours overall if there are any type of delays. And that's just the beginning for these players. I mean, they're playing hours and hours a day, usually grinding ranked right after SeriesE, so make sure that you check out their streams as well on Twitch. Let's take a look at what Applejacks is up to. They are one of the other teams inside of Train. It is getting crazy over here.
Did they allow someone else to take the high ground here, as we have a fight taking place not too far out from Train, just to the west, and it will be Team Rockstar that clean up Pittsburgh Knights. I believe the Knights might have been involved in a fight just beforehand, and we're trying to recover there. Here's Applejacks once again taking control of one of the high ground Train carts, trying to get some poke damage off, and it's going to be up to Blueberry, even though he's only got 15 shots total on the longbow and still has a long way to go for the red Evo shield. So he needs to land every last shot. Does he have a secondary to swap off to as well, is the big question up here in the Train cart.
I wouldn't be surprised if he starts chucking long-range Mastiffs because he runs out of longbow ammo. I'm not quite sure what the plan's going to be. He's going to look like Fury with the Mozambique on top of Mirage Voyage over here. But right now, for Applejacks, it makes me wonder where this zone's going to go. I mean, we're thinking Hot Springs, but the way that everyone's posturing over towards the Train side, this could be a Train ending. And G2, they're potentially looking over towards the hot spring area as well, you can see where that respawn beacon is. That's where I'm anticipating this zone's going to pull. It can continue to do the typical Apex Legends where it just pulls towards the bottom, or it could do one of the, pulls bottom, bounces right back over towards the middle or top. So I have my confidence in G2. I mean, they picked that thermal station zone very well.
And they've got some great armors here if they want to try and go for this fight. You can see Designful trying to find this angle off this window, get an Arcstar stick. They might just have it. Oh, narrowly missing it. Might have a second go, as they should be able to hear him outside. No one's watching this window for some reason. Arcstar does not get the connect onto Team Pop-Tarts, and they do survive, popping some of the barrels at the very least. So G2 get the confirmation on that. At the very least, they know that there's a caustic inside, so it might not really be worth their time, worth their investment of more nades. But G2, if they're anything, they're tenacious. And so Designful, this time around, going to have an easier go of actually getting in. Do they not realize there's a window here? This is voyeuristic. Like, this is kind of disgusting. Designful is able to just look in for free like that. He does get finally checked, but man, it should not have been that free for him.
That was crazy. I mean, he's looking around and he's like, man, I feel almost bad shooting them, right? He's like, if I shoot them, I'm not going to get the kill. I kind of want to just make them explode all at once because no one's paying attention. And that's why he had the grenades in hand. Unfortunately, not able to connect those. And maybe could have called to his teammates like, hey, let's hit him with the Hail Marys, all right? Let's all fly in here and toss out whatever utility we have. But the problem is that caustic, again, just so annoying. Not just because you can't push in, because he's keeping you out, and then potential third parties come in, and then they start shooting you, and then they're safe inside. So, awkward situation for G2. They're going to bail on that one. Team Razor, though, game 1 winners. Sitting kind of towards the top of the leaderboard still. Let's take a look at Zeratricky's point of view and Baby Tuli's point of view as well. And interesting switch. We did see Pathfinder being played early by Tuli. A little bit of an aggressive play style, now switching on over to Bloodhound.
And I like this move coming out from Team Razor. They were actually pushing up to the choke that G2 were playing off of, but you have to imagine that they had a good inkling that it was going to be G2 that was playing off that choke, especially when you see the circle that's that close to Thermal Station. If any team's going to be there, it will be G2. So they're going to avoid that fight for the most part, especially right now. We haven't even hit the top 15. Pop-Tarts poked their head out to pick up some extra utility. It looked like there was an ultimate Excel, I believe, out there for them to use. When you have the Gibraltar, when you have the Caustic, those are two ultimates where you get so much value because of how long the cooldowns are onto it. So they're definitely going to need that for now. Poking and prodding is going to be Exile. He's got that G7 Scout, but he's still so much damage away from getting that blue Evo up to a purple. Oh, TSM in some trouble. It's all up to Reps left in this fight.
That happened fairly quickly, too. That's going to be Team Nestle Splash. Also, Razor finding themselves in a scuffle, too. You hear Beast of the Hunt being popped by Tuli. Bubble waiting to go away as they're wondering how they're going to attack this situation. Hakulo has a great off angle over here. You can see the spacing from Team Razor. Everybody taking different spots. They're all taking separate head glitches as well, waiting for some big damage to be used, but they have to back off and scan Dorito building and check to see if anyone's coming from behind because of the priority position that they have. So they can't get too aggressive. They understand the situation. Everybody kind of waiting for mistakes to be made, and a mistake could be an overextension. It could be a fight that you weren't really anticipating that should be taking place. So they're going to just fall back, and I do like this play as we do see the zone kind of pulling away from them. They're going to have to make a play here very soon.
Cloud9 ultimately did finish off, by the way, TSM, so looks like the curse still living through as Malice Mamba will go down. C9 staying alive for this one as they get Stay Naughty back on up, and they're going to have to start running down. It's a minute 35 before this zone starts closing, but a fight taking place over at Countdown. Was not expecting this overall, but they should be roughly safe. We're down to top 15 finally. Games have slowed down considerably from what we started off with. Remember, game number 1, we had 14 squads left when zone 1 ended. Now we haven't even hit 14 squads in zone number 3. This is actually looking like a right proper Apex Legends Pro match.
Got a hashtag save Apex ranked Albarelli gamer tag going on right now. Interesting username. But one of the things that I do love about watching Albarelli play is his diversity in legends. And he's always been one of the strongest Pathfinders that we have. But Wraith, Valkyrie, Horizon, Gibraltar, all of these are definitely within his wheelhouse. As we see another position being taken by CLG. CLG typically will land over towards the Skyhook side, and then they'll take, in this circle, the building that is directly above them. Unfortunately for them, the rotation wasn't fast enough to get to the building. Ooh, finding a broken purple armor. Definitely take that upgrade and get some cells and batteries along the way. But CLG loves holding the building directly above them. Watching a team hold the below area is good, but you can win from this spot. The zone does pull here. The only problem is that team directly above you. So as long as they're being gate kept and kept honest by some other team, and you're focusing them as well, you should be able to hold this.
Yeah, so they were able to make it out of train, and you called it, Tom, coming over here towards Hot Springs side. G2 are happy to see this ring pull as well. They're in one of the most dominant positions, basically playing on the platform that has that beacon peeking out with that with the Kraber in hand. Vaxlon gets the knock onto flankers. CLG are ready to send it. There's the warp drive going in. Will they be able to punish it? Vaxlon does run back, though, to his squad. He might have actually missed the bracelet there. And so they're not able to punish it. The Gibraltar quick res was too fast. Team Liquid able to just stabilize off of this one. So a lot of nades are coming in, so it might just be a matter of time. All the doors, it seems, have been cracked, but Scurry not finding an opening with the Kraber quite yet. And now the pressure's being turned onto him.
They're trying to fight for their building. That's their building. They love that thing. Zone pulls, interestingly enough, on top of the bridge. Oh no, Pringles is down to just a Presley here. Big grenade is going to connect. This is going to be 303 over towards the side. That's going to be an unfortunate armor swap, though, as Fury realizing the situation here. They have two players up, 2-on-1 for Presley. He's checking to make sure he's not flanking over towards the side. There's the scan. They see the down player as well. Grenade to try to get the thirst on the player on the ground. I love that play from Presley. That's also going to force the teammates to try to come because you know that they don't want to get thirsted in this type of area, in this type of situation. But just a sliver of HP. There's the clamor up. Presley not going to last very long.
Oh, he hit him big with that Mastiff, and now C9 are looking for the third party. They don't have to pressure this too strong. They know they got the thirst at least onto escape. The kill credit doesn't go over to C9 though, so 303. Do they have a mobile respawn beacon to really work off of? This zone's gonna hurt, even though there's a respawn beacon right there. I don't think neither of them can really go for it, unfortunately. Right now it's G2. They lose out on one. Scurry finally gets a knock with that Kraber, taking out Resulta. And CLG do have to deal with another squad, though, right below them, missing out on that shot, and he gets cracked himself, popping that bat. The bubble has been used by Shiny as well. So once it does go down, they might go for the full send. Resulta does get thirsted out here. Now here they go with the drop down, but it looks like it's just going to be Resulta that they pick up on this engagement, as Liquid are still in the area. So I like the patience coming out from CLG, understanding with Liquid still in the area, they cannot get over aggressive. They have to play as full 3.
This is a Psycho Madman combo. Kraber, Mastiff over here as Rice Krispie Treats are both just a sliver of HP. Stunny Tech Era collapsing on this one. Nimasona most likely going to be dead to the players that are in front, as well as Era actually gets flanked as well. That's going to be Team Razor coming through with additional knocks. Intel getting involved as well. Renegade's POW is going to take out Gentrifying as that's happening in your kill feed. And Intel finds themselves in a decent position with the zone closing over behind. Ooh, they're just in, barely.
So Verhulst was able to get his squad back in. Amazing job coming out from them. A lot of armor swaps here, but Pop-Tarts lose out on one. It's going to be a 1-for-2 exchange now in favor of Rockstar until Lion gets a huge crack with that Mastiff. Does he have the armor swap to work off of? He's trying to find anything here. All the gold bags just kind of baiting him now, and he gets finished off. Team Intel will be the ones to pick up all of this loot.
got to go for the red ones. You know, it's not the purple or the gold ones. Go directly for those red ones. Those are the ones that have those armors in them. And unfortunately for Lion, 2 to 3 different boxes, all empty with the armor swaps, just straight debated throughout all of that. And Intel going to take advantage of this. 3 kills, only 400 damage. That's something that you love to see if you're Volholst. And CLG, awkward spot to be in. Ooh. There's a perfectly placed grenade as well. This is a tough spot. This is not like how our Team Liquid was playing the fence. This is a little bit more hot. As speaking of Team Liquid, that's the team in the area. That's going to be Nocturnal with the additional knock. As soon as this bubble comes down, grenades are going to be coming down from the heavens.
And they don't want to drop down quite yet. They've got the angle forcing them back once again, but Nocturnal knows exactly where they're going. There isn't much space really to work off of. They're getting tagged, and look at what Team Liquids is doing, right? Even though it was just a man standing still on top of the blue bins, Nocturnal's not even taking the shots at him. He's allowing them to put the pressure on to CLG right below them. He's allowing the rest of the lobby to do the job for them. We've hit top 6 in the zone. Team Liquid have the ultimate high ground here on the tracks as well, and they're playing this one patiently, not risking anything.
Nice tracking there from Nocturnal, also leading his shots a little bit as that player was Thuman. Scurry gets knocked again, and there's another bubble coming through, but Nocturnal's eating a lot of scout damage. They need a bubble. Where's Phil when you need him?
All right, he somehow gets that bat off at the very least, and Liquid actually dropped down into the low with the ring closing on in. There is the bubble, the patience coming out from Phil. They've got the full team, CLG, stuck behind that rock right now. Thermite narrowly missing, and there's going to be troublesome C9 on the other side of this fight here, as Nocturnal gets a good crack with that R301. Phil, though, going to get slowed down by this EMP that comes out, and Shiny goes down, as it looks like Cloud9 a little bit separated, and it's just all up to Albralele as he makes the push to try and get this kill onto Applejack's. 00 negative does get finished off, but here comes Team Liquid now to try and finish him off. Albralele goes down. It's going to be Team Liquid with full control over height.
Nice job by Team Liquid. They predicted this circle perfectly. Early pings went down onto the train tracks. We were wondering if it's going to be Hot Springs. Well, it's directly in between Hot Springs and train, almost middle of where that first scan into round 2 was going to be. But now Team Intel in a extremely tough situation. Yes, you do have CLG down towards the low ground, but Shiny is going to be taken out. Oh, the bubble with just a sliver of health. That's going to call for Team Liquid to push down, and then here comes the push.
That buys enough time for Team Intel, though, to at least heal up. Here's Nocturnal back up on the high ground now. Excellent tap strafes, and oh no, now it's just a free shooting gallery. Getting the crack mid-air, Skittle Cakes to go down. And they are just left falling. Hey, they've got at least a good buy present for them, throwing down that frag as Dupe goes down to the melee of Phil, and Team Liquid just having a fun end to game number 4. They'll take the win here in game number 4. We've had 4 separate winners so far, and so this leaderboard is going to look so interesting as we head into game number 5.
What a way to have that game end. I don't think I've ever seen a body fly that high into the air and then drop right there. The ragdoll effect was hilarious. The grenade, the death grenade, reminded me a little bit of Halo right there, but Team Liquid playing with the food at the very end. Still another game, good game by Team Intel, though. We'll find out after this break what the leaderboard says, but great start here to SeriesE.
All right, we'll be right back with game number 5 right after this.
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking, yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. With the bars and the breaks, I'm talking one chance that was so good for the code. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind to shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
Team Liquid with the big win in Game 4. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Yeso here in Studio Red, the Esports Arena HQ. And 4 games done, 2 more to go. And as we heard Jamerson and Tom talking about, we've had different winners through the first 4 games. Razer, Intel, TSM, and now Team Liquid to complete that 4. And the question is will we get one of those 4 as a repeat winner in any of these final 2 games, or will we continue that track? It's been an exciting push so far. I'm a little disappointed Intel with that Valkyrie ultimate. I mean, TL has high ground on you. They know you're there. I kind of feel like you're throwing just a little bit by Valkyrie ulting right in front of them. They get melted. TL with the win. Well played. Good performance from them. Let's check out our player of the game for game number 4. And it was Phil there. 5 kills, 1 assist, over 1,700 damage in that one. And TL looking to put a dent. We were talking earlier, and we got to see the Mobile 1 leaderboard. It was TSM and G2 up there at the top. Razer and Intel just behind them, trying to close that gap. So we'll have to see how the standings have shaken up from this game. But Phil, a big part of that win for Team Liquid as they try to get up into the conversation here to try and take our first pro night here in Season 3 of Series E. It's been a little quiet from the other partnered squads tonight. Rockstar has been up and down. Team Pringles, who we have high expectations for, are Season 2 champions. Haven't heard a lot from them. We got to see a very entertaining high-performance moment from them just a little bit earlier on in the show, but on the scoreboard, it's been very quiet. So we'll have to see if a Team Intel or Razer can make a huge push here in the last 2 games of the day to establish themselves at the top of the leaderboard. I talked in our last segment. It was a long time before we saw a partnered squad win a pro night. Do we get it in the first week here of Season 3? We'll have to find out. We got our next game coming up, Game 5, with Jamerson and Tom after a short break.
Hey, shake it, kiddo. Love Dad. Whoa.
I've got this. Kellogg's Rice Krispies treats. A little up.
Fruit flavored splash. It's fruit refreshing. Fruit refreshing, refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. Now all our top fruit flavored splash.
It's fruit refreshing.
All right, welcome back, guys, to Series E. We have 2 games left tonight to see who walks away with $350 for first place and $150 for second place. And we've had 4 separate winners, so our leaderboards are looking very even. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard to see who is currently leading. Before everything was said and done, it was G2, but it's going to be Team Intel overtaking them narrowly by 2 points. Liquid now are in 3rd place, while TSM have been knocked down to 4th, Tom.
Team Intel, we knew that they were going to get confidence from yesterday in the arenas, and they're coming here today showing that they have the BR skills too. Yasuo's team to watch, and now everyone's watching out for them in these final 2 games. We'll see if they can pull this one off for the partnered squads.
And it's crazy to think that they were almost knocked out of game number 4. If I'm remembering everything correctly, Verhulst was ratting it out very early on, somehow got his teammates back into the game, and they hit top 2 to secure first place right now. Let's take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment of game number 4, and it was just all Liquid with excellent control. We're going to take a look at Pop-Tarts in this fight, making the full send here. This is the moment where Team Intel were able to really fully recover off of what happened to them. They come in for the 3rd party, and they have all this loot to work off of, Tom.
All this loot, but no boxes. Maybe should have checked the red box that was sitting directly in front of his face. I'm not sure if he noticed that one. Maybe that one had an empty armor in it as well, but there was about 5 or 6 boxes in there. Not one of them was available for Lion to go and hit an armor swap, but the massive shot in slow-mo that we have right here towards the very end was beautiful. You could see jumping into the air, boom, right there. Great shot from Lion. Unfortunate, again, not able to get those armor swaps. He had 4 kills. That could have been a big game for Team Pop-Tarts. Instead, Team Intel looking like the strongest partner team so far.
Yeah, hit him with a flick of the wrist at the end there, and right now, Team Intel, it's been about grit, being able to survive to the late game, really. When you're left in that position to red it out early on, I mean, usually I would just be like, yeah, you know what, GG, go next. But sticking through it and hitting top 2 along with a good number of kills, that was incredibly strong for them. So with so many teams in the running, even the middle of the pack have an opportunity to try and hit the top 2 if they have 2 good games in a row. So we cannot count anyone out yet as we head into game number 5. Let's join on board with Team Intel to see how they've been playing this one out on drop.
Yeah, Intel's, like you said, playing very gritty, playing tough Apex, and it's not easy in these pro lobbies to rat it out. So great job of ratting it out, but also getting the res back up. And we were so curious where the res was going to take place too. And if I'm not mistaken, Intel is dealing with a 50-50 today as well. So the fact that they are even doing so well while being contested is absolutely ridiculous.
And they're flying in over here towards staging, decent spread out for them. They have full high ground control as well. Last time, I believe in it was like game 2 or game 1, Verhulst was caught out on the low ground here. And so I think they might have learned their lesson from that to play a little bit higher, to have the option to back off if they need to. And so now they're just going to back away, take this loot. They're not going to take the fight because they're in such a strong spot. They do have one player that's actually caught out here. Maybe it was a kind of greedy spread from the team that might be going over towards like Hot Springs, but it looks like they will just go ahead and deflect that for now. Another team is showing up behind them. Does he hear the movement? Well, he definitely sees the scan at the very least. There's going to be a 2 in front of him with a 3rd coming up behind. And Dupe is not afraid to try and take this challenge. Still needs to buy time for Verhulst and Skittles to show up for this one. Oh, big crack. Ooh. Here comes the nade.
See if these nades connect. Not able to on the first one. The second one, not quite either. I was wondering if he was going to use those grenades as an opportunity to go in advance. The big question is that player on this team, the one that was running away? It's not. Okay, so this player is over towards the left-hand side. The other 2 are locking down the high ground. Dupe is kind of by himself right now, but he's doing such a great job of head glitching, and he's on Gibraltar, so he's able to use that arm shield to full advantage. No light ammo in there, though, so gonna have to start chucking them PKs. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Go for the R9.
Yeah, there's only like 15 bullets, though, unfortunate for him. So he's going to close the distance to play within shotgun range. Thermite out, covering the corner. He does get scanned up, but, you know, this team has backed off, giving him the 1v1, and that's the big 76 onto Stunny. So Team Intel will be able to get the knock, but Verhulst has gone down. Luckily for him, he does have the trade at the very least, and so this is the 2v2, and oh no, he gets taken out, and so now things are looking a little bit dicey for Team Intel. remember that Dupe was just close range weapons beforehand, so he's not really in position to try and take this fight. It's all gonna come up to Skittle Cakes here, as he might be forced to take a 1v2.
I was really thinking that Dupe threw that bubble down just to get the finish, so since it's so early in the game, you're not able to find as many cells and batteries as you were hoping for, and you could have got the free 3 cells or the 3 free battery with the finish right there. Instead, he's going to have to use whatever little resources he have left. So I think he just found 2 cells along the way, so able to recover just a little bit, but there's the death box from Verholst. Now in this 2-on-2 situation, we'll find out exactly who griefs who in this never-ending battle between Era and Team Intel.
I'm so surprised. I thought the third party was coming in. We saw the outline of 3 purple bodies running up, but they decided to not go for it here. And so it's going to be Team Era that get the free res. They've got the beacon right there. And unfortunately, you know, Verholst was the bro in game number 4. They haven't even recovered his banner yet. And so it'll be surprising if they get him back in. I believe they had about 40 seconds left on that banner time as well. So they're going to have to play this one out as a duo. TSM, though, making their way on down to the south, as it looks like Strictly caught out Dupe. And so now Team Intel just left down to 1. Rockstar will pick that one up. TSM, though, I think they're happy with this position. We didn't get to see the ring, but it looks like it will be ending here northern side of Sorting Factory. TSM looking pretty good in the armor situation. 2 purples. It's just Hal sitting on the white right now, but should be able to get that upgraded very shortly here. Looks like it was Exit that was trying to apply some pressure onto them before they started getting sandwiched.
Yeah, and if TSM's over here, you know this zone is going to be moving towards this no-name area over towards Sorting Factory. And to be honest, we can't have 2 no-name areas on the map. So I feel like the original no-name by Fragment is no-name. We need to give this no-name area a name. We need to give this spot a home. Chat, let me know what you guys think this should be called.
I've heard calls for it. I just forgot them, and I have no idea now. And I just can't. But ooh, 303 got a knock onto Shiny. There's an EMP coming out from Kenny here. Didn't look like it actually hit TSM. It might have actually, as the defensive bombardment is going to go down. Plane doesn't care. He just goes ahead and pushes forward. Hit big. 110 for him, but he's just absolutely stuck in the doorway. And we have a lot of nades coming through. So it looks like TSM, CLG, and XSET all in the area, but TSM isn't involved in this fight quite yet, so they might just come in for the third party very shortly.
Oh no, there's a third party coming through, and I've never seen someone get griefed so badly by a downed person. The knockdown shield just catching XSET off guard, but look at Hal. He's got the chopper, he's got the Volt, so much ammo in both of these weapons that he's able to lay down around 70 shots between the 2 of them, and that's more than enough when Hell is hitting a high percentage to hold off any players that are coming through. Reps is locking things down, and there's those annoying loot boxes, those pesky loot boxes sitting in the door trying to stop you from getting through. As Bowser is going to get dropped, Renegade's trying to answer back as Pow's going to find an additional one. That's going to be a 2-on-1 situation as RKT initially gets the knock, but Pow and Saucer are there to respond.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's going on with RKT right now, if they haven't, still have not been able to establish a good drop. You know, they lost that 50-50 over up against Team Razor, I believe, at Lava City. Don't know where teams are dropping, if Dome is a claimed location right now. But running into RNG, definitely tough breaks for them. Triple purples for Renegades here, as they are having control over the south side of that Sorting Factory building here. But the ring should slowly pull away, if not going over towards the Donut building on the north side of Sorting. But yeah, like you call it, Tom, TSM playing an early position with the early priority rotate coming up from Frag East. It's more than likely going to go their way. Right now, though, G2 doing G2 things, controlling the edge of the map right now is Designful. It's on full hunt mode. He's got the Wingman Volts. This team has already used their bubble here. Designful might want to take an opportunity to try and heal up at the very least, because he's hit a lot of stims, but, you know, knowing G2, they like to turn on the aggression on the squads.
Definitely, and this is probably the best building to lock down if this is going to move over towards no-name V2. But you can see Escape's thought process. Doesn't want to hit cells and batteries until that thing gets up towards the blue, and there it is. Eats a ton of damage along the way, but That's achievement unlocked. Getting that blue armor for escape is going to be huge if they're going to continue to lock down this spot. But I love the 30-30 here with the 2x for sticks. That is going to be so annoying for these teams to deal with.
Yeah, it's 44 damage away from getting that purple Evo for himself. You always have to worry that ever-looming threat of TSM push can come out at any moment if they team fire one person down well. But you can see Calphlon is keeping good eye on that at the very least. Teams over by Geyser as well, as it looks like Team Razor in a fight with Team Pringles right now, and it's taking place over here at Geyser. As I mean, at least he's in good spirits. Fighting into this 3v2 is going to be difficult. If they can somehow sneak that banner would be huge. They do have a respawn beacon just behind them, but it's still going to be a difficult one at the very least. Creeping the door, tagging with that sentinel, and keeping an eye on that. It's going to be difficult. Again, when you're fighting already a man down, but also basically a gun down with the sentinel in play, when you need to get into close quarters, they have so much basically riding against them now. Decent spam through that door at the very least, but take a look. Razor want to get aggressive, but man, Team Pringles are doing so much damage, backing off now for Mercy to hold the line for his squad. Bubbled down as they continue to back away from this one. Defensive bombardment will be used by Mercy as well. This is a full retreat coming out from Pringles to make it into the vault cave.
And the facepalm right there for Fury. He's understanding, man, I think I went in just a little bit too aggressive. And Zeratrick is like, yeah, bro, you did.
I love that face. Oh, man. All right. So it will be Razor with full control over the Geyser side here, but it's still difficult to play off of because sometimes you might just be committed to the low ground here. As we have a fight for Era on the western side of Sorting. They're going to have to go for a weird rotate over towards Harvester at this point, and they will be able to use that with the jump pads, chaining it back and forth. Now to getting the high ground here. Luckily for them, they do have stunning on this Bloodhound, and we know how treacherous it can be to run through Harvester. Oh boy, Oxy took a lot of damage there as he peeked that hallway, and this is why you need the Bloodhound to be that forward scout with the scans.
There you go, bro. Take some syringes, get back into this one, and yep, like you're talking about, having the Bloodhound being in front is absolutely crucial. But Air Eternity, they did the lobby a favor taking on the #1 team so far, so let's see what they're going to be able to do for themselves. You need to pick up some additional kills. They are currently on the right side of the leaderboard, I believe, so I'd like to see them bounce back.
Looks like Cloud9 just got knocked out as well. Alrelele going down there at the end. No, never mind. Zach is still alive for the team. Naughty gets thirsted off. And we'll see if Zach can get his squad back into this. There is the mobile respawn beacon there over at No Name V1. But Team Razor have good sights on it. And it might just be free kill point farming for them, really, at this point, as round 2 is closing up in another 30 seconds.
Amigos, let's go here.
Typical Razor playstyle here again.
Never mind.
Just going along with the flow of the game and not really forcing things, which you love to see. Is going to eventually have to make their way downhill, but holding this choke is always a good opportunity for some kills. You're going to have a lot of people that are doing other late rotations, even later than you. But you have to coexist with the other team that's locking down the other choke, which makes things a little bit difficult because they could actually grief you if a team wants to rotate down towards the bottom. So good spot to hold, but not as easy as it looks. They will have a fresh armor swap that will help Team Razor going forward, but there it is, the zone pull. And when you have to slide down this hill, Jamerson, there is a full 3-team firing squad that's going to be looking at you.
Yeah, we know TSM is one of them as well, and so they need to find a way to navigate this one. Maybe somehow just miraculously jump past it. They could circumvent a lot of it, go over towards the Geyser side. Maybe they tank some damage and go over through Train if it's not going to be if they're not going to spend too long in the zone. But this is going to be a difficult one here, as you know, time is ticking away. They have 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go. They're going to clear out the other choke that heads over towards Geyser. They might have spotted someone. Zach did get finished off, so C9 are knocked down. We have hit our top 15. So it looks like a lot of the focus is going to be over here on the Geyser side.
Yeah, it definitely will be. It typically is too. It's one team on this choke, maybe two teams. They're going to duke it out, and it usually ends up being one team remaining, which most likely will be Razor. And Razor's even considering, hey, let's not go down this hill because we know from experience how much we're absolutely screwed. And someone that is barely making it out is Skittle Cakes. Does have a med kit, though, and we'll see. I mean, you do have this crazy Valkyrie ultimate that you can end up using if you want to make a rotation. I would almost select for that than footing it. Footing it from this spot is going to be fairly difficult. But how slow has this been? I mean, crazy to think how game number 1 went, where we're at now with game number 5.
Yeah, we're hitting basically the regular pace of what Apex Legends Pro matches have been since basically the onset. 15 squads remaining in round number 3. As you can see, you were talking about the 3 squads that were holding these buildings, holding that choke that Razor were eyeing beforehand. And Splash, they've got some unwelcome visitors above them as well, dropping down. Might be making the jump across to try and get over to the circle building on the other way, and that's exactly what that team will do. So that does alleviate some pressure off of Splash at the very least. They should remain cognizant of that. And hey, they've got a nice drone set up as well through the windows to note that hey, their roof is now clear.
And the value of crypto is huge in these situations where you can get inside of buildings. So now you get an opportunity to actually put this to use, is fly around, look for the third parties, look for your opportunities to do something. This is where I love watching reps go to work too. When the bubble goes down, how do you use your defensive bombardment in these type of situations? Surprising that Razor was able to milk their way down towards the bottom of this building, but Applejacks has to survive with their fight. Looks like Era is getting the better of them though, and Kubsky, last player alive, not going to be able to do it. It's going to be Oxy with the finish, Oxy with the res.
He's also got 4 kill points to his name right now. Rising, no one pressuring on this side, and they'll be safe for the next zone as well. So after they stabilize, they can just hang out here. They've got a decent amount of kill points, and so now just make it to the late game. That's all they really need. It's all about buying time, and they've got the position for it. Top 14 here in round number 4 with 39 players remaining. I believe Skittle Cakes is still alive. That really only accounts for 2 players missing, so one team currently playing this one out as a duo, as well as, surprisingly enough, I mean, you and I were both surprised that somehow Razor were able to slide down here for free. There is a team to their southeast. They've got the scans, or they should have the scan for it. Thule not throwing that one out quite yet, and we'll hold on to it. I mean, if he doesn't now, he'll have time for another scan before the zone starts closing. But he's going to be a little bit more patient with it for the time being. Let's go ahead and swap around to see where everyone else is. It looks like this zone will be pulling over towards that circle building. Playing underneath the bridge as well is going to be a nice spot if he can have that. And there you go. We have a good look. We've got Renegades and who is that? That's going to be Rockstar that have control over the main sorting factory building. We've got Pop-Tarts as well down by the toilet bowl. It's going to be Charlotte Phoenix and DePresley and Mercy playing this one out as a duo. That is the duo that we were looking for in the lobby.
So what's going to be exciting is on that right-hand side, we have a lot going on in sorting, but I'm looking more of where Phil and the Team Liquid squad is and where G2 is. So you're going to have that under the bridge area like you were talking about. You're also going to have the Knights that are locking down the donut building, and then another team loves to coexist underneath that, which is already currently happening. Another team is going to rotate over towards the jungle gym, which is very common, and that's already taking place. But that action right over the bridge is going to be super, super interesting to see.
Ooh, Pop-Tarts. They went for that Valkyrie play on top of the mountains right now. I kind of want to see them drop down to the other side, and that's what they're going to do right on top of Era. Are Era aware of this? They need to turn around and actually clear their back right now. Team Liquid, though, they're getting pushed by Pop-Tarts, and they finished that off really quickly, so never mind. Pop-Tarts actually dropped right on top of them. I thought they might have actually gone to the other side of the mountain, but there you have it. Team Liquid pick up some free kills.
That's always nice. You're sitting here inside the tunnel not expecting anything to go that easily, and then all of a sudden 3 free kills drop right in your lap right there. That's the problem with Valkyrie in these situations, is you don't really know where to rotate, and unfortunately They're going to feel that wrath as 303 makes the rotation. They're trying to come out from the jungle gym area. There's the finish right there onto Finicky, picking up some extra ammo along the way. Still has the 30-30 as well. There's the flush onto Golden. And they're going to have a decent amount of resources here, but you do have 2 teams inside the donut building, so you got to be careful.
We also have 2 teams playing, ratting this one out right now. I imagine it's still Team Intel, but there we go. SeriesE gets finished off, so 1 rat has been exterminated. It's going to be Imperial Howl to pick that one up onto Mollis. 303 not safe in the next zone. And in the next 40 seconds, they have to find a way on in. They will have the Beast of the Hunt as we have a res going through. So it might be a free kill for Calf, but no, it's not going to be able to connect on the shots. Skittle Cakes does ultimately go down, and it's Imperial Howl. He is the Terminator, taking out all the rats.
He's a Tomcat. You know, if things don't work out on this Apex thing, I'm sure Tomcat is hiring for someone like Hal just in case they want to pick up the Exterminator. But here's a
FTX Tomcat, right?
TSM FTX Tomcat Imperial Hal. Let's see if you can fit that name in there. Oh man, yeah, but you know, this is something that we've seen TSM do fairly often, where they get in these low ground situations, but it's because they have Octane and they have Hal. If they see the opportunity to send it over towards the high ground, they're going to. But in the meantime, they're just waiting for opportunities, just like that, for someone to make a major mistake, drop down from the top, and get one clipped by the Spitfire. Bubble's going to be used as well. Team Liquid's still in the vicinity. They're locking down the bottom of the toilet bowl here in the donut. And there's another team full sending over towards the second layer. So we're going to have a 4-team stack here on the donut.
Yeah, good damage off to try and force them down to the low, so TSM do have to keep an eye above them. That's the squad that was playing off the fences here, but they do survive for now as Era do get finished off by G2. And it looks like we're now down to top 7 squads, full squads at that. The Knights now trying to make a push for the rooftop of the donut building, but they have to back away. The bubble is going to go down soon, but Asura didn't get the message. He's got 2 knocks onto Rockstar, taking them out. We have now hit our top 5 as TSM take out 303. But now they're in a little bit of trouble. Imperial House still needs to heal up, and Reps does not have his bubble. He'll get pushed by G2. Designful take him out, along with Onmu taking out Imperial Howl, and TSM have been knocked out. Team Liquid have control over this plateau here, but they have another squad above them, and so they have to be careful of that as well. It's going to be a full 3v3v3 for the final circle.
Man, these endings are so fun. Anything towards the sorting side is always just a blast to watch because there's so many little nooks and crannies, crevices that players can end up playing. Team Liquid ends up playing on this plateau that you were talking about. We saw great plays by the Knights going through and dropping the team that was sitting on top of the toilet bowl. And then you have Team Liquid locking things down over here still as well. So great game so far. We'll see who's going to be able to finish this one. All of the rats have been exterminated. You can see right now 3 versus 3 versus 3 situation. Pings going down on where they think the zone is going to be ending. And it's going to be tough for G2. I mean, the only thing that G2 has going for them right now is the fact that these 2 teams could end up fighting, but I feel like they're both so disciplined, they're not going to allow for G2 to get that free third party.
Yeah, it's looking like Liquid are trying to find some entry damage, but Bronzy does send Nocturnal back underneath cover as he does try to heal up. It's just double purples for Liquid up against the triple reds of the Knights right above them. Nade coming out. We'll see if Phil connects with this one. It's going to be a little bit short and does narrowly miss out. Word has been used as it looked like Asura tried to go for some sort of kidnap play, but does not get anything off of it. Liquid were wary of that, and so nothing happening here now as the zone is slowly closing in. Defensive bombardment is ready. Omnu needs to have beautiful bubble here, and he should be able to throw this one down to keep them safe, but here it is. The zone closing in. Bubble has gone down. They're not going to have that defensive tool in just a moment as Team Liquid are still looking for this opening damage, and this looks so good for G2, who are, I believe, currently sitting in second place and will have another top finish. Jump pad play coming out from the Knights, but never mind, they're not going to go ahead and take that. They got the knock onto Nocturnal. They got a second one onto Flanker, but Phil does answer back, find the second as well. And now, somehow, Onmu survives, but he has to fall down into the full 3-man of G2 right below. Might just go down to the ring instead. It will be G2 taking a game number 5.
crazy situation there as the zone didn't pull over towards that respawn beacon. It goes down towards the bottom. G2's fully aware of that. They locked things down. They weren't interested in pushing up over towards the top, and they are going to do some big things, taking game number 5 right there. Very well played, and another different winner, if I'm not mistaken, Jamerson.
Yeah, it's been an amazing day of games so far, as having so many different winners. But again, G2 with a top finish and being in the top 3 and such, I believe, before we head into this game, keep themselves in contention, especially heading into the final game of the day. We're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we get back, we'll have game number 6, the last game of Pro Night, right after this.
Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
How much do you think Pringles paid these people?
Hardly anything. Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack. Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles. We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
How can we get out?
We can't, Summer. They warned me this would happen, and I didn't listen. Stack Pringles, make endless new flavors. Stacking Pringles to make new flavors. Make endless new flavors. Barbecue, wavy, and sour cream and onion equals a 3-layer dip stack.
Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws. They're Jumbo.
Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go. Eat your cereal, magnified, showing up for snacking time. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go.
It's Jumbo. It's your snack. It's Jumbo Snacks.
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind and shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
All right, everybody, game 5 all done there. Only one more to go. Yeso back here in Studio Red of Esports Arena HQ, and our first day has been quite a roller coaster ride, and the run continues. We have still yet to see a repeat winner on the day, as G2 able to take the win there in game number 5. And now Intel was doing some work getting themselves up to the top of the standings, and we saw Skittlecakes there trying to rat it out as best he could. Wasn't able to quite get into that top 5, but still grabbing as many points as he can. But it was G2 coming out on top. Pittsburgh Knights, they're not able to get it out and pull out a victory. And now let's check out our player of the game from this most recent game. It was Designful, has been looking really strong today. We were watching him earlier on in the day. G2 was looking cracked in game number 1, and Designful keeping it going. 4 kills, no assists. Just south of 1,000 damage here. They're able to get the win, though. They had the placing, they had the positioning that they needed to grab a victory here and jump themselves into the conversation here to grab a win in week number 1. Pro Night has been very exciting so far. We have tons more questions. We're going to have a Mobile One high performance moment. We'll check how the standings look going into our final game of the day and get you all ready for game number 6 after a short break. We'll see you in a few.
Cheez-It snapped. How's it taste? It's so thin, crispy, and cheesy. And I just want to keep eating it. And eating it. They love them.
Snapped. So good we may run out of cheese.
It's fruit, refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. They're all our top fresh flavored splash.
It's fruit freshin'.
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
All right, welcome back to Series E, where we've had 5 winners across 5 games so far, leaving up a very contentious top 2 heading into the final game of the evening. The zones have been pretty nice. You know, they've been pretty split, but it's been largely there on the southwest side. Maybe this time around, the zone gods will bless us with maybe a northern zone. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile 1 leaderboard to see who is standing on top right now. G2 with the win there will ultimately propel themselves into first place with a comfortable 11-point lead over Team Liquid.
Oops, excuse me, just hit my mic. But you have really great company here if you're Team Intel. I mean, look at that. You have TSM, Liquid, G2, all tournament winners in the ALGS. You have the Knights sitting there, who's a team that's been consistent as well. Team Razor, who's our Season 1 winners and one of our most dominant partnered teams here as well. So, you know, Team Intel is looking really good. They're looking really strong, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to continue to play against these top teams. I mean, yesterday was one thing in the arenas, but today the confidence carrying over, also the different, you know, facets of their game in terms of playing zone, taking fights, 50-50s, but also being able to recover from the 50-50 Javerson and being able to respawn your teammates is something that's very difficult to do and not easy to execute, and picking up kills along the way and getting to the end game after a broken game like that is a great sign.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Mobile 1 high performance moments of game number 5. And it was a very scary situation here for XSET, and particularly, as you noted, that person on the door, he just came in. Even though you're down, you are not out, as you can see, blocks him into the doorway, gets hit by all the nades and the shots and the defensive bombardment. And then, of course, we're just waiting for the ultimate third party from TSM here.
Yeah, I believe that was Shiny just sitting there like biting at Kenny's ankles while he was down on the ground saying, come here, let me get you. And eventually did get him. I mean, that was such a great play. That was the most important downed play I've ever seen from anybody in terms of being able to stop anyone from getting through a door. So
yeah, we got the Mastiff in the game, but you know, we've also got the Chihuahua, the ankle biter there out from Shiny. There's beautiful play. But again, at this point, G2 are not safely within first place. Like you said, Team Intel are with good company. 3 teams in the running to try and take away the first place spot. So G2 need a solid final game if they want to get the first win here in Series E during the Pro Nights. So there's still a lot to deal with. It's going to come down to the zones, but G2 have been doing a great job just playing around multiple different kinds of zones so far, and I love how they've been approaching a lot of this. We're seeing good understanding of where to play for center zone, as well as being able to play the edge like they normally do. So let's go ahead and head into the final game of the evening here for Series E Pro Night. I guess this is week 1, but yeah, let's join in with G2 on their drop over at Thermal Station.
It's a complicated situation, touchy subject, Jamerson. Is it week 1? Is it week 2? We're not quite sure, but one thing's for sure. These gamers are stoked. These pros are stoked that they get to practice again after the servers have been a dumpster fire over the last 2 weeks. So we're back, and you think they want to win SeriesE? They definitely do. There's some cash up for grabs. Importantly, also, there are bragging rights on the table here. In G2, they got contested early. Will they get contested again? Arrow is dropping in the back of Thermal like absolute psychos, and if it wasn't for them dying early in game number 2, G2 may have a bigger lead.
And right now with 11 points, it's a nice lead. It's a comfortable lead, but they still need a very solid finish here in the final game. SeriesE once again in this fight down at launch site. Golden is going to try to find an opening here as he pushes up. He's got a Volt Spitfire. That's a lot of damage that can come out very quickly for him. The scan doesn't actually catch anything. This squad is just backing away from them for now. Trying to regroup as a 3, hoping for a mistake on the other side. The Valkyrie getting caught mid. Passive there, but only hitting for that white armor. Mollusk gets cracked, but they do have the heals. You saw some cells being picked up by Finicky, so they'll be able to hand that off if they need to. And it looks like SeriesE don't want to full commit onto this one.
Not quite yet. Nothing's more annoying than when you get a 50-50 and you start to push the team, they start running away and mirroring your every move. But now it looks like Team SeriesE is interested in fighting. They didn't hit a scan going into that area, so now the scan comes out. The counter scan is going to hit, and now Team SeriesE is going to run away again. So not only are they taking half of your loot, they're wasting a majority of your time as well, making it more likely that you're going to get third party, or making sure that you are not going to rotate in towards the middle of the zone and forced to play edge. So a little bit of griefing going on as the 50-50s. Not uncommon in the first day. Pop-Tarts Lion, look out. Presley going to be on the case.
Oh my goodness, what are Team Pringles doing here? Pop-Tarts, we're not expecting that at all. I mean, he heard them running last second. You saw the nades coming out, but it was way too late. Pringles pouncing on them. I believe Pop-Tarts, right? They drop over at Overlook. And so they just kind of ran in there. It looks like blind as Pringles were able to pick that one up. And we can see why. The ring is finally blessing us with a northern zone. It's pulling pretty hard over here towards Refinery, but you know, if this ends up more in Fragment East, I wouldn't be surprised as well, as Pringles want to finish off the job here.
Yeah, if we can get a map scan, that'd be good. If we did, I wasn't paying attention, but they're definitely finishing the job as they're hunting down poor little Z Davis, getting knocked out over here. Nothing you can do when you only have 2 players. Yeah, Exile kind of counts as 1.5 with all these Gibraltar, or all these caustic, excuse me, barrels coming out left and right, but that's going to be all she wrote coming in for Team Pop-Tarts. And there's the smirk. Pringles Fury really having a fun time today, and you love to see it. Again, love having the addition of the cams inside. So thanks to all the players that put their cams on for us so we get to see those smiley faces while they're gaming.
Rockstar in their fight once again over here by Countdown now. And, you know, they're lucky that Liquid, of course, taking their time over at Trials, don't push them as soon as they can, but that's that ever-looming threat. Having a team coming out from Trials for the third party with double purples and a gold, if not double golds and a purple themselves, and so they have to be wary of that for now. And Team Liquid would love to find these kill points. They are in the top 4 right now, so Rockstar backing away, but this means they are backing away into Skyhook right now. They're gonna give Trials a wide berth here, but they do get scanned up as they come through. This might be CLG. Might actually be in here. Don't know quite yet. We will find out in just a moment.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they approach this fight, but it's a lot of aggression. It's a lot of aggression happening fast. There goes the fly-in coming in from Flanker. Was it a stick? It was. 63 though, hitting big. Peacekeeper in the backhand for Kimchi as well. I love that little finger roll grenade frag over towards the side. The armor swap as well. That grenade is going to hit, but I believe a third party is coming through, so they're going to bail on this one. Another nice, really nice grenade. The prediction grenade. It's burning. It's burning. It hurts.
I mean, we all got our vaccines, right? It's time for barbecues once again, but right now it's just Kimchi Lee showing up to the party all by himself. As yeah, the third party's just way too strong. Don't know if he's going to be able to recover anything here. He's going to back away off of this one. There's plenty of time for him to try and recover the banners, but here's Team Pringles in another fight. Not able to clear the drone. It looks so close, those shots, but good Team Fire as they turn around onto exit. They get the actual assist out from TSM, who have moved their way in over here to Refinery. And there we go. We have a good idea of where this zone is going. You can see the hard pull on the second zone over towards Refinery, which is why TSM are setting up here early.
Yeah, TSM always so strong at predicting the zones. Not only predicting the zones, putting themselves in a really solid position to get those dubs. Classic TSM maneuver here. This is one of their best buildings to lock down. Back in the Watson meta, they would make things work over towards this area so much. I mean, we would see teams in this building. We would see teams inside the blue trailer, inside the yellow trailer, in the other building as well. I mean, it gets absolutely hectic over here. All trailers end up taken, but not in this case because now grenades are going to be coming in left, right, and center. Is trying to take down Team Pringles, who did take down Team Pop-Tarts a little bit early, but it's just going to be some posturing of some shots left and right. Nothing really going to be finished off.
Yeah, it does look like Team Rockstar did get finished off over there by Skyhook, though. Now Team Pringles will just be able to hold the back rocks, but they are getting pressured by the south. Team rotating through Overlook now, and so some more things to worry about at the very least. Fury getting tagged up, and his shield's almost getting cracked. Only hitting for cells. I'm wondering if they just were not able to pick up extra bats. That didn't seem like there was crafting for them, so they might be a little bit low on economy here, as Fury will rejoin his squad. It's Team Razor playing on the south side of the zone. They've got a squad pushing up now through this choke. You have the Valkyrie missiles coming through, no connects for them. As now Zeratricky is trying to cut off one angle with those nades, but he's got to be careful, and Arcstar right above him, creeping up with that as well. Aggressive bubble as he goes ahead and full sends it, gets the one clip onto Clinical, and now Rice Krispies in a world of hurt. It's the 3v2 for Team Razor to finish this off. Easy team fight for Team Razor, as now Team Pringles actually made the push onto the squad that was over here, and it looks like it was 3-0-3 with the Thirst going down onto Keflon. Jump peek out from Fury here, and oh my god, we're talking about one clips. That was almost beautiful, but he's now in the 1v2, has to back off, but he's done the damage. But here's TSM for the third party, and Mercy just has to get out of there.
And Hal actually picks up two there, one on each team. Amazing third party there from Hal, with one clip of his Spitfire picking up 2 kills. Great value there coming in as Snipedown actually picks off the final finish there onto Fury as well. So amazing job from TSM. We know they're trying to catch up with G2, but amazing also plays from Razor and Zeratricky. I mean, the one clip was amazing, excuse me, but the timing of the bubble and the aggression, it made it look like they were using wall hacks as well. I mean, it could have been a scan from Baby Tuli. I don't think so. I think that was just great instincts from Zeratricky.
Now they do have to worry about the team that pushed up through the geyser choke, and maybe they just let them run past and they'll just have a free rotate through. They do have a team ballooning actually right behind them, and so this might be another opportunity for Razor to try a full Senate on another squad. The squad kind of came in a little bit staggered there, but it looks like with that worry of the team on the other choke, they're not going to commit onto this quite yet. They have 1 minute and 27 seconds to work with, so plenty of time to make this decision, as it looks like they are, of course, going to keep their eye on the other choke right now. G2, remember, our lobby leaders currently picking up 2 knocks so far, and they will be able to take out Team Applejacks. So that's going to be another +3 for them, securing as well top 15. So 4 points at the very least. So keeping themselves the very comfortable lead now, 15 points overall, I believe, over our top 3, or our other top 4 squads.
Yeah, and they see that TSM is picking up some kills, so they're trying to keep pace, and you love to see that. I mean, G2 could have easily turtled. They could have tried to play end zone. They could have been doing anything, but instead they're playing the edge. They're not changing their style. This has got them that many points, so why switch it up? The only bad game they really had was that game where they died in the landing spot over towards early thermal station and going out in 19th place. So we've seen some phenomenal work coming in from G2. Really only 1 or 2 mistakes in terms of their skirmishes. The one that they had a little bit later in the game when Designful switched up and went over towards TSM, but Razor's going to full send into this bubble. You can see Nox going in onto Knights. That's going to be Asura answering right back, though. And now Tuli and Hakulo trying to do whatever they can. You see they've already taken a handful of shield damage, almost taking flesh damage as well. Defensive bombardment has been used. Batteries being popped over towards the side as well. Are they going to bail on Zeratricky? It looks like Zeratricky's going to make the call, say it's okay, relocate. I'll try to take the bounce pad as well, but that's not going to be the case. There goes the finish. The third party is just too strong.
Yeah, those Renegades chasing them down. There's still an opportunity to try and recover this banner. I believe the respawn beacon over by No Name might still be in. If they can get that, and you can see there's one more respawn beacon to the northeast if they don't have a mobile one for themselves. See, they're keeping a good eye on it right now. Team Intel, oh boy, I was going to say they find themselves in a good spot here, but it's in the crosshairs of TSM, never mind. Reps was the only one that went down, but he was able to get that bubble down before he did. Fast res out from TSM to get him back on his feet with the armor swaps as well. Just immaculate play coming out from TSM right now.
I mean, that's what you love to see. No questions asked, just immediate armor swap placed on the ground from Hal. Just so jealous of these mouse and keyboard players. They need to nerf that, man. How can you just like loot so fast?
Here's Cloud9. They stopped going for those fights up against TSM, and here they are in the mid game with 11 squads remaining. So the action has picked up a little bit more here in game number 6, our final game, just like we had in game number 1. But it's going to be a fight over the main building over at Refinery, and they have a team on the other side of the roof that they have their eyes on. They could try to full send it with this jump pad. But they know the caliber of teams that are still alive in this lobby that are really close by, and so maybe they don't want to force the issue.
Definitely don't want to force it, especially when you have such a great positioning here. And we haven't seen C9 really, late game fairly often. It's been an interesting day for them overall. Still a little bit new as a squad, getting in some practice here on SeriesE, and looking forward to seeing how they continue to do. But Team Cheez-It is in a tough spot on top of this hill. I mean, there's going to be a lot of real estate in front of them that they're going to have to work towards. And you can see the team that is gatekeeping them is going to be Renegades.
Kraber in the hands as well. And it looks like it's going to be C9 that are getting pushed here. As Naughty gets some decent damage off. Bubbles has been used. It's going to be Zach to go down first. Shiny pick that one up. CLG now want to take the man advantage. Good connect with that Eva 8. They take out Albralele. It's all up to Naughty, left in a 1v3. But CLG, they're not going to chase after this one. They're going to go for the full stabilize before they try to go for the death blow up against them. This might give them an opportunity from the C9 side to maybe get a res up. You also have to worry about the threat from the other roof side. As you can see, they are now going to go ahead and finish them off once they have full healed. And that will be Naughty going down. Top 11 for C9. They fall here in game number 6. CLG looking to finish off the final game of the day strong.
Yeah, I think they're running a little low on ammo, though, on the CLG side. I'm not quite sure how they're going to survive here. Maybe they would need a Loba, black market, or something along those lines, because it's so difficult with only 300 ammo and going into round 3. I don't know how you're going to do it.
If they have the black market boutique ready, I believe a lot of those bodies at the buildings to the south might be just within range of them. I believe they were playing on the south side of that building, so it'll be close. It's a pretty large range on that black market boutique. Speaking of the south side, though, here on the next zone, it's going to be RNG. Renegades still holding it down with that Kraber. Sorcerer has not connected quite yet, but all it takes is just the one shot. He's got a big Gibraltar in front of him as well. We do have Pau covering the right-hand angle, scan down. Now he's going to go for the wide peak here, narrowly taking that shot, missing for the headshot there. That could have been the opening that Renegades were looking for here, but the gatekeep is strong as well. This zone is going to hurt a lot. Defensive bombardment has been used. Doesn't seem like any connects quite yet, but they have all the time in the world to work with here, and it looks like it's going to be a far right swing out from that squad. Renegades haven't been able to match it quite yet, but now they're stuck out in the open, Tom.
Yeah, and don't even need the Kraber shots to connect. Apparently, there's one for 116. Apparently, when you don't think about it, you just take it out and go for the quick scope. That's when it really starts to work for you, and that's exactly what Saucer was doing. But oh, look out! Maybe you need to bounce that towards your teammate. That's always smart. Always taking down the players so you can't call out that you're charging right around the corner. And now you could reapproach the situation.
Yeah, so it looked like it was Team Razor who were ultimately able to get that res, but Renegades were just camping the south side, knowing they could try and gatekeep up against them. 5 shots remaining left in this Kraber for Saucer here, and he's got 2 members of Razor just hanging out. How did that one miss? What?
That looked good. I mean, Octane has such a tiny skull. Makes things a little bit difficult. So we'll see. I don't know, but Saucer, he's got this like, you know, little quick scope and then whip technique, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately, right there, it doesn't, as you can see that off angle being taken there from Bowser. I believe this is just a lonely rat, and this rat is putting in work. I mean, he's forcing bubbles, he's taking multiple players down to no shields. Look at Tuli. Look, Tuli doing some big work in a 3 versus 1 right there, being a nuisance.
And this alleviates a lot of pressure for Renegades, who are stuck down basically in this bowl. They have a team on the high ground to their east. There's another team, full 3 to their west, and the ring is pulling hard up to the north. Bowser has gone down, and he's almost going to get thirsted there. It's going to be Nestle to pick that one up. And so now things are even more difficult as Pow has gone down as well. Saucer, unfortunately, finally connects with that Kraber at the end. But it's not enough. He's just stuck here as a solo. Will not be able to get this res as the zone starts closing in.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, Saucer really didn't do much with that Kraber. Unfortunate. We all saw it. His teammates just died right in front of him, and he's laying down some shots, but you really wonder if he would have just had his R301 out and was working together with his teammates, could that situation been a little bit different? Sometimes you just want to start using those shots and start hitting those shots. Unfortunately for Nestle Splash, they're going to be taken out on rotation as well. It's just up to Rat Boy Turns over here to see if he can pull something out, and I don't think it's going to last very long. He's already stemming out of the situation, getting counter-stunned by Stink. Now a little ring around the rosy or on the pill before he gets taken down.
Ooh, Greek almost going down, actually forces out the bubble, and might be pretty crucial if there's a team above them, but it doesn't look like there is. Defensive bombardment, never mind. Oh, that bubble just went down way too early. Greek taking that much damage, forcing it out from Kodagami now. So the defensive bombardment taking away as an arc star lands at their feet as well, narrowly missing them. Greek still bleeding out. And looks like that will be the end of the pressure so far. So somehow Charlotte Phoenix survived.
I can't believe that Turns throughout all of that was able to cause so much commotion for Charlotte Phoenix that could have griefed their game just by the amount of pressure that he was putting on. Nice Kraber shot there from Nocturnal, going to connect for 145. Only 5 bullets left in this one. Ping's going down on top of the yellow crane there. And that's definitely a potential spot to play. Underneath there is very useful as well. And Nocturnal electing not to take that shot because he understands the situation. I only have 5 bullets left. If I get that shot, is it really even going to do anything? There's one onto Shiny. Hello there, Shiny.
Yeah, doesn't look like any teams are in position to try and punish that one unless we do have the jump pads to get over to the yellow tanks. But Team Liquid have to deal with the team here on the rocks with him. That's going to be Charlotte Phoenix just to their north right now. 10 seconds before the zone starts closing in. Nocturnal does have his jump pad at the ready. And never mind, it's actually G2 that they have to contend with as well. So a lot of teams kind of funneling here on the northern side right now. Things are looking a little bit scary. Neither of them, or none of them are actually safe, and they still have to walk in with this zone. For them, it's going to be a little bit slow. 40 seconds as it fully closes, and TSM getting 2 knocks onto CLG, about to finish them off here as Team Liquid are making their advance up through the highway there. And here comes the nades. Here comes the Kraber. Nocturnal with it in hand, getting ready. This is the first shot, but he still has plenty more. 2 more shots. Misses the midair one, and somehow Team Liquid get this position for free over by the blue bins.
This is a interesting spot to go and hold down. I mean, they're going to be in the middle of a lot of different areas. They don't realize that no one's located over towards the door. Does your boy Phil have his bubble when you need it? The team over towards the high ground is definitely the priority. You still have another solid team over towards the side. That's going to be TSM. Kraber not going to connect. There's the bubble coming in from Phil. Exactly when you need it, but you have 50 seconds to hold off all of these teams who are focusing you. You're really hoping that the teams over towards the yellow tanks are going to focus each other. Now you're in an extremely difficult spot.
Yeah, TSM was the squad that was able to actually punish off of that knock that Nocturnal got with the Kraber, and ultimately This is the thank you that they give Team Liquid for all that. Team Liquid are out. We still have TSM and G2 though. But it might seem like with G2 hitting another top finish, they might have cinched it here, but TSM looking to at least get a strong top 2 finish.
You never
They have
know.
a decent amount of kills, 5, but we
You
know
never
that G2...
Jamerson, if they can kill G2 and pick up all of the kills, that could be mathematically what they need. I mean, that is 5 plus 6, that's 11. The difference was 15. So if they've, picked up 4 extra points to this point, plus they pick up all of the kills at the end, I think that's the math that we're looking for, but that could be the scenario.
Yeah, so TSM, they need every last kill that is going to kind of flavor their decision-making in the end here. Charlotte Phoenix, though, playing this one out as a duo right now. Kodagami and Stink able to creep their way up to the yellow tankers as G2 are trying to put a lot of pressure onto TSM right now. Take a look at the lurk coming out from Imperial Hal right now. Yeah, he is completely riding this one out. Resulta, though, is able to rejoin his squad with that port, and it's TSM getting pushed on the low ground here. Easy fight for them, and Designful is going to go for the drop again first onto TSM. We'll see if he can kind of rectify what happened in the earlier game today, but it looks like Designful will not go down. It's going to be a full 3v3 versus G2 and TSM. Early bubble out from TSM as they go for the peak, and here they go. It's a full 3v3 fight. Traded. It's going to be a 2-for-2. It's going to be Snipe Down versus G2, and G2 will take the back-to-back wins to get the win here in SeriesE Pro Night.
Snipedown had the 1v1 that he wanted, unfortunately had to reload the EVA 8 and then switches on over to the R301, and by that time the fight was basically over. G2 does it, and man, I thought TSM was going to have us holding our breath for when the leaderboard came up, because that was a close one.
Yeah, that was a huge, huge opportunity. We're going to take one last break while we tally up all the results. And when we get back, we'll be able to announce, well, that G2 won. But who came in second place? Probably TSM. But let's go ahead and let the admins do all the math. We'll be right back, folks.
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind and shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
Hey, shake it, kiddo. Love Dad. Oh.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats. A little love when it's needed.
Stack Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
How much do you think Pringles paid these people?
Hardly anything. Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack. Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles. We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
How can we get out?
We can't, Summer. They warned me this would happen, and I didn't listen. Stack Pringles. Make endless new flavors. Stacking Pringles to make new flavors. Make endless new flavors. Stack Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
How much do you think Pringles paid these people?
Hardly anything. Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack. Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles. We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
How can we get out?
We can't, Summer. They warned me this would happen, and I didn't listen. Stack Pringles. Make endless new flavors. Stacking Pringles to make new flavors. Make endless new flavors. Barbecue, wavy, and sour cream and onion equals a 3-layer.
All right, welcome everybody back to Series E. We had 6 fantastic games, and I've got something about me. I was able to ask the gods. I communed with them and asked for a different zone than a southern one, and we got it there in game number 6, where it ultimately ended in Refinery. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard. After 6 games, we only had one repeat winner, and that was G2 to walk away with the win. And Tom was absolutely right with the math. If TSM took out G2 in 3rd place and got all the 5 kills, they would have walked away with the win. But TSM will ultimately end up in 2nd place, 87 and 78. Love to see it. Like, it's a total palindrome there. I believe that's the right word. I don't know. I'm going to embarrass myself at this point. But G2 walk away with the win. That's the important part today, Tom.
Yeah, I almost embarrassed myself by trying to do math before we went to the break, and apparently not as dumb as I look. But G2, look at them. I mean, great job coming through. And surprisingly, I mean, quietly and surely Liquid worked their way up towards that leaderboard. But, I mean, we have to be so impressed with these top 5 teams overall. They really stood out today.
Yeah, especially with how it started. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard. Mobile One high performance moment of that last game. You can see TSM. They get pushed by Charlotte Phoenix just before this, and they go for the full 3v3 fight, and it's so close. As you can see, Snipedown evening it out, going for the trade. His health looks fantastic, but as he knows himself, when you're that close range, you are going to get
aim
beamed. And he goes down.
Man, so unfair. Anyone that uses controller, get some skill. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. But here's the thing is, look at Snipedown's ammo, okay? He only has 15 shots in that Volt. If he had a full clip right there, he probably could have played that differently, but he knew that he had to hit every single shot. That's just not going to be the case with that great strafe that was put down. So unfortunate situation for TSM, but a great day for G2 fans.
Yeah, and honestly, it was a great day of Apex overall. We had some fantastic end games overall, and seeing our partnered squads heading 2 of them in the top 5 at the very least. So it looked great. But congratulations once again to G2. Back-to-back victories to clinch the victory, walking away with $350. TSM, well, they're going to be walking away with $150 for taking 2nd place there. But it was a fantastic day. I'm glad that we're able to hit up Battle Royale once again. Arenas mode last night for our open night was definitely a lot of fun. I would love to see it, maybe do an Arenas night with our pros, because I mean, I've seen on Twitter, Tom, they've been talking about the custom arenas. They were doing those in the weeks leading up as well. And the pros have been having a lot of fun in arenas. So maybe one day we can actually do that as well.
Let's form a team. We're picking up Bad Push. Me and you are joining the Arenas tournament. Let's do it.
Oh man, no, I don't want to embarrass myself more than I have tonight with my weird ass knowledge about what I know about Paul Mitchell and stuff like that. But it was definitely a great week returning to Battle Royale, and of course having a proper full day of Series E. We have a lot more in store. Of course, the full season 3. We have a lot more to go. Like 10 more weeks in terms of competition. We're already seeing great things out of our teams. That's going to do it for us, though. We do have our post-game show. So we're going to go ahead and send it back to the studio. But we will be back next week. It's going to be Tuesday, of course, when we have our open registration night, and on Wednesday night where we have our pro night. So keep your calendars marked for that. That's going to do it for us. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you to all of our partnered squads, all of our pro teams, and all of our partners that make this all possible, and everyone over at Esports Arena that put on this amazing show. That's going to do it for us. Have a great weekend.
All right, gentlemen, well said. Hats off to Jamerson and T-Squared. Great cast, as always, from those two, and you can see it right there, G2 Esports take the win. And we were talking throughout the day, we were waiting for that repeat winner, and we finally got it in the last two games. G2 running it back there in 2 in a row, and they're able to grab the win. Very strong victory from them. Team Intel and Razor also able to sneak into that top 5, so a good start to the season for those two squads. Meanwhile, some other ones that we maybe have high expectations for, Team Rockstar not having the start to the season that they would like, but it's just the first day. Still plenty more Apex Legends to play throughout Season 3 of SeriesE, so we'll be keeping an eye on them as the season continues. I hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as we did. A lot of fun games today. A lot of awesome stats and storylines to break down, and it's only going to get better as the season goes on. Do want to remind you guys of a few things. Obviously, we are live here every Tuesday and Wednesday for SeriesE. We kick things off at 4 p.m. Pacific time. It's open nights on Tuesday. Wednesday is that pro night, just like today. So make sure to clear out your schedules on those Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons to come watch this show. We also are coming back with Talkin' Tunes this week, 8 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow night right here at twitch.tv/esports arena. Our good friend Robert Paulson will be here with a very special guest that you're not going to want to miss out on, all right? Hope you guys enjoy the fun. If you're in that Salt Lake City or Atlanta area, make sure to get out to our openings this weekend. All of our information's on social media. Check us out on all our socials. Head over to esportsarena.com. That's going to do it for me, for myself, the entire live broadcast crew, and everybody here at Esports Arena. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again next time.